My name is Stacey Alcorn. I am the founder and CEO of LAER Realty. We're an independent real estate company based out of New England, but we have offices all throughout New England and Florida. So every month on the first Friday of the month, we do this very comprehensive boot camp for real estate agents. Now, I can see many of you are not LAER agents. Don't worry, this program is not a sales pitch about our brokerage. There's just tons of tools, training, all kinds of free resources that you're going to get over the next few hours. And you don't have to be a LAER agent to enjoy all these awesome tools. Over the next few hours, there's going to be a couple areas which are kind of LAER specific, but 90% of what we share today is for any agent. When we started the brokerage 10 years ago, our goal was to help agents become the best version of themselves. And so with that being in mind, over the years, we realized, for example, we have this amazing dashboard of tools for real estate agents. And we said, if our goal is to help all real estate agents become the best versions of themselves, why are we password protecting our stuff? So we ended up several years ago removing passwords, making all of our marketing resources, training stuff available to any real estate agent, because truly our goal is to help every agent become the best version of themselves. And the tools and the resources and the technology that we're going to go through today, all of it is geared to help you have an amazing 2024, whether you're a LAER agent or you're working for another great brokerage. We want to help accelerate your success. Quick background on LAER. Like I mentioned, we're 10 years old, almost 10 years old. We'll be 10 years old in April. We're an independent real estate company. Where we got our name from is when I started the brokerage, I had told our branding agency, our goal is to build and attract great real estate agents. And the branding agency asked, what makes a great real estate agent? And I said, the best agents are strong. They are negotiators of difficult terrain, just meaning the best agents are truly really good at overcoming obstacles. And the best agents are true protectors of their clients. They're not working for a paycheck. They're working to help people. And at the time, we put all those words into a Google search: strong, protector, negotiator. The first thing that popped up when we put those words into a Google search 10 years ago was a lion. So we said, that's it. We're going to build our brand around the lions of real estate. In the jungle, lions hang out in lairs. In the real estate world, many of the great agents are at LAER. We changed the spelling of LAER because ours is the mirror image of real, since we're in the real estate business. And then we created the acronym Local Agents Extraordinary Results. We're really proud. We now do about 4,000 transactions a year, buyers, sellers, and rentals. As I mentioned, we're in New England and Florida. Ranked every year, Real Trends and Riz Media, Power Broker reports. But really what matters to us most is helping agents accelerate success. If you came on a little bit late and you didn't catch the beginning of this, just know that whether you're a LAER agent or not, you're going to get an equal amount of great information, all kinds of resources. We're going to give you marketing pieces that you can go start using today. And that's for everybody. Whether you're a LAER agent or not, you're going to get just as much information out of today's program. So our goal is to help accelerate the success of all great agents in the markets that we serve. So with that, I'm going to dig in and start sharing some of the resources. Now, what you are looking at here is our LAER program and services guide. Definitely go download a copy of this if you don't have it, even if you're not a LAER agent. Only because there's tons of resources within the booklet that you're going to want to access for your business. Originally, we designed this so that our agents knew like the best resources to use to grow a successful real estate business. But now we open up, like I said, all of our stuff is open to everybody. So throughout the booklet, you're going to find links to all kinds of resources. For example, there's at least tens of thousands of dollars worth of free Canva templates. Our marketing department is second to none. And they provide all kinds of great marketing resources, from buyer guides, seller guides, listing presentations, buyer presentations, pre-listing packages, marketing pieces galore. All of it's in Canva template format, which means you'll be able to access it and pop out a logo if you want to and put in your own logo. So what we believe as a brokerage is that the true brand in real estate, the true brand is the real estate agent, not the brokerage. We believe the brokerage is a support network. So great brokerages support the brands they serve, and those brands are the agents that choose to affiliate with that brokerage. So with that being said, you can download a copy of this program guide at laerrealty.com/success tools. Oh, I can see that Sergio has already handled that for us. So if you're looking at the chat, you can just click on over to laerrealty.com success tools. When you get over there, it shows you the guide right there. But also if you scan down to the bottom of the booklet, you'll see a PDF version. So you can just click on that and download it. If you're near a printer, it's cool to take notes right on the book as you're working today. One thing I like to preface today's program with is it can be overwhelming. I mean, being a real estate agent is overwhelming. You guys are the chief cook and bottle washer. You do everything. So you're going to find tons of resources today. I always tell agents, come on to our program and try to walk away with 5 things that you're going to go execute on. Knowledge is not power, execution is power. So the power in your business, what your 2024 looks like, will have everything to do, not with the classes that you took, not with the fact that you spent 3 hours on a great training program today. Your 2024 is going to be the byproduct of what you execute on when you do take classes and when you do engage in your business. So the goal for you today should be to write down 5 things that you're going to go execute on. Now, don't worry, we record this program. So you're going to start writing, and in the next 15 minutes, you're going to probably have the 5 things that you want to go execute on. Stick onto the program anyways, take some additional notes. But then once you go execute on these items that you're going to add to or enhance from your business, you can always come back. We do this class live every month. So if you're watching this during a first Friday, today's December 1st, 2023, if you're watching this live version, then feel free to ask questions throughout the program. You can type into the Q&A or into the chat box. Or if you're watching on our Facebook page, you can type your questions there. Our team is watching questions. Hey, Paul, thanks for coming on. And also, we record everything. So if you go to youtube.com, I'm going to remind you of this in a little while as well. If you go to youtube.com/LAER training, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of training classes. But what's also cool is every time we deliver a new class, within a few hours, we upload it to our YouTube station. So go subscribe to our LAER training YouTube station. Be careful, we have 2 YouTube stations. One is really more client focused for buyers and sellers. The one you guys want is youtube.com/LAER, LAER training. Subscribe to that. That way, every time we add a new class, you'll just get a little message on I get a little notification on my phone saying a new class was uploaded, but this class will be uploaded this afternoon. So you can go execute on your 5 items and then come back next week if you want to, or next month. You can come watch our live program on the first Friday or watch the recorded version on YouTube. So with that, let's dig into this LAER program guide. Again, you can download this at LAER Realty, LAER Realty.com/success tools. Let's start seeing what's in here. Now, the first few pages of the book, there's not a lot of tools for your business. We like to remind our agents of our cultural values. So the first few pages are the 30 values that we hold close to us as an organization. So once we get past those few pages, we then get to kind of what we're about at LAER. We're an independent real estate company. And we're really proud of being independent. What's interesting, we do a lot of business. We compete with a lot of the biggest massive conglomerate brokerages in the country. And not only do we compete with them, we compete with their agent count, the tools, the training, technology, and we are independent. So we look at it that independent is kind of about self-representation and highlighting your uniqueness, and being an independent brokerage is about independent thinking and making decisions as agents based on our own internal compass instead of what's going on in the outside world and outside voices. So we're really proud of our independent culture at LAER. Now, let's dig into the good stuff and start filling your coffers with all kinds of awesome stuff. I can see we just got some more agents that logged in. Just as a reminder, even if you're not a LAER agent, you're going to get as much out of today's program as the many LAER agents that are participating in today's boot camp. If you're watching on December 1st, this is the live class, so you can ask questions by typing into the chat or going to the Q&A box. Or in the alternative, if you're watching this live in one of our Facebook groups, you can ask questions in those groups and we'll monitor those and try to make sure we get all of your questions answered throughout today's program. So if you just logged on, the booklet that we're following off of is located at laerrealty.com. That's LAER Realty.com/success tools. And you can download, when you get to that page, you'll see the booklet that you can kind of flip through online, but you can also print it. If you scroll to the very bottom of that page, there's a PDF version of this book if you want to print it. Now, the reason why I love having the online version or the PDF version is you're going to see tons of live links throughout this booklet. So the print one's nice to take notes on, but you're going to see all kinds of live links where you can go download like really cool Canva pieces and stuff like that. So quickly, the book is divided into 4 sections. The first section is marketing and branding. We're then going to cover technology. The third section of the book is training and coaching. And the fourth section of the book is support services. So let's dig into the marketing and branding, because it's interesting. Over the last 6 months, we've kind of reorganized not only this boot camp, but also this book. Some of you guys have been on the class before. We've been delivering the monthly boot camp now for 5 or 6 years. Even before the pandemic, we were doing them live. Since the pandemic, we've just stuck to our first Friday of every month, and it's developed over time. But we've gone through recently and reorganized everything. And the new organization of this booklet and today's program is based on what agents loved the most. And what agents loved the most was the marketing stuff. They're like, once I got all that marketing stuff, all the other stuff is great too, but I really wanted access to all the great marketing. So we said, okay, let's reorganize. That used to be at the end of the program. We put that we front loaded the program with all the good stuff. So marketing and branding is the first section of the book. So right at the beginning of our marketing and branding section, we're going to go over a whole bunch of marketing and branding tools for your business. But one of the most important ones, the one that you're going to want to bookmark for your business moving forward, is this LAER Agent Services dashboard. Now, I will tell you, up until about 6 months, no, I'd say a year, more than a year ago, our LAER Agent Services dashboard used to be only accessible by LAER agents. But then we really looked at it and we said, if our mission truly is to help every agent become the best version of themselves, why are we password protecting good stuff that can help any agent in the marketplace? And so we unpassword protected everything. So all kinds of awesome tools in here. We don't like fluff. Like, we want everything that you click on to be really good, helpful information. Now the beginning of this, so again, no password protection. You can go on and start using some of these tools. The very first link, couple things I just wanted you to notice is, like, at the very top, there's a cool kind of a dashboard of stuff. You'll want to click through those. Most of these just take you down to a place further down on the page. Right at the very top, this is kind of for newer agents that just recently joined LAER. One is a link to our LAER program guide. That's where you guys already went to download today's program and services guide. If you are a LAER agent, there's also a link here for frequently asked questions. If you're a LAER agent, you probably engage with our Happy Agent team through happyagent@laerrealty.com all the time. But we go through, and every 6 months or so, we take all the questions that come into our Happy Agent line and we put those into a format. We say, if 10 people have the same question, let's put it on our frequently asked questions, just to make it even easier for people to get stuff answered. And then also, if you're a LAER agent, if you click on that Tell the World section, you're going to find all kinds of cool marketing pieces just to notify the world that you're at LAER. Let's go down to the really good stuff. Oh, and by the way, I don't want to pass this by. I want to welcome, because I think some of you might be on today's program. We have lots of agents joining LAER each week and each month. In fact, I was just telling our group, we have about 24 agents joining in our Massachusetts market literally this weekend from a whole office that has decided to become part of LAER. So we always like to welcome all the newest agents joining, but this little section changes literally every day. You could come this afternoon and this will be a different group of people, because we're always adding new team members to our rosters. Now the good stuff. So marketing, branding, and presentations. Let's go through some of this stuff. I can promise you, I said at the beginning, you're going to want to write down, say, 5 items that you're going to go execute on, because knowledge is not power, execution is power. So I know that you're going to go want to write down 5 things that you're going to execute on, and some of those things are going to be in the next few minutes. So first button I want you guys to check out is our guides, presentations, and brochures. This section is updated all the time. Everything that we do at LAER, as far as marketing pieces, everything we do is built off of Canva. So just a quick detour on Canva for a second. The reason we love Canva is it's a marketing product. It allows you to do branding and marketing pieces super easy. In the old days, our brokerage has been around for 10 years. In the old days, we used to use like Adobe for doing nice marketing pieces, and Adobe is wonderful, except you really need to take a lot of classes. You can't just go like download Adobe and start using it and have nice pieces. It takes a lot of work and understanding how that tool works. Canva is the opposite. If you've never used Canva, you can go download your free account today, and I promise you in 10 minutes, you can make a really nice social media piece or something like that. So our marketing team works off of Canva all the time. Everything we create is in Canva. So what that means to you guys is we make Canva templates. The cool thing about a Canva template, which is all these items, by the way, there's 2 little scroll bars over here. So you'll see I got 2 scroll bars. Just want to make sure you don't miss stuff because of the 2 scroll bars. All of these different items open into a Canva template. So in case you've never used Canva, I know most of you are probably pretty familiar with it. When you open something in a Canva template, that document is now yours. So when you make changes to it, don't worry. So what happens is I was talking to an agent a few months ago and she's like, oh, I saw all the awesome stuff, but I didn't want to go in and put my face on it because that changes it for everybody. That is not how Canva works. I said, once you open that link, that is now yours. Nobody else who clicks on my link is going to see anything you've done on your Canva piece, because now that Canva has become yours. So let's take a look at some of the cool things and how you might use them. So this whole little section is kind of a hodgepodge of marketing pieces that our agents love the most. So you can kind of pick and choose. One of them is an inclusion and exclusion checklist. This is for like going on a listing. Agents were like, can we put something together? Because I always forget to ask, like, oh, are the wall treatment or window treatment staying with the property, things like that. So this is like a handy little checklist. We also have a document for utility information. So you can have your seller fill out information. Oh, by the way, in case you're not a LAER agent, because I see we're about 50-50 today, LAER agents versus outside brokerage agents, you can just delete the logo and put your own logo. This goes for anybody. If you're a LAER agent, you might want to throw your photo on there. You can customize any piece of this whole thing on any of these items. If you are a LAER agent, we'll cover this a little later, but as part of the marketing that you get on every new listing at LAER, we pay for 7 days of advertising, pay-per-click advertising through Boost by HomeSpotter. Basically a 7-day ad campaign on every new listing. So we want you to talk about that and put that into your listing presentation. So there's a flyer here that you would want to use for that. There's some really cute marketing pieces. I love these little pieces. Like this one's a home selling process Monopoly board. So this is like a flyer. You can just print it out on, say, 8.5 by 11. This is like a flyer, but it shows the whole home buying process in the form of a Monopoly board, which I think is super cute. You can then, of course, change out, put your name, your contact info, upload your photo into there. That's the selling one. We have one for buyers. So if you scroll down a little, we have the same exact one. We have a seller one and a buyer one. Next, we have the year in review. So these are important. We have to update ours to 2020. Oh, looks like somebody already did that for us. This is the time of year where you're going to want to start sharing with your followers on social media what you did for business over the last 12 months. So this Canva piece, you're not going to use all of these. You're going to pick one. So there's a whole bunch on here. There's like 20 different Canva pieces that you're going to want to go in and customize. Why do we have 20 different ones? Well, because there are agents that did like, say, 30 home sales this year. So the idea of each of these is you would just upload a photo of each property that you sold and drag it over into one of these boxes. That's how easy Canva is to use. So you would just take each of the 30 houses that you sold, upload them to Canva, and drag them over. You can add your photo. That's what goes right here is your photo. You put your logo, you can put whatever you want. So the reason we have 20 of them is because if you sold 30 houses roughly, then you might want to choose this version. And then if you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, say 12 sales this year, you could put them here. Or maybe you had, like this shows 57 homes sold, but you just wanted to take a random sampling of pictures, you could use this version. We also have some that have no photos of the houses on there. Maybe you don't want to have any of the photos of the houses. So the whole idea is that there's lots of options for you. When you go to download it, because there's 20 options, you don't want to download 20 social media pieces. Most likely you're going to customize one of these and download just the one you're going to use. So I have seen agents take this piece and then they find the one that they want to do, and then they go delete all these other ones, which by all means you can just delete each of the other pieces so that you only have one item on your Canva template. But also you can just customize the one that you're interested in. And when you go to share and download it, it asks you to select the pages you want to download. So if I only customize, I would uncheck all of them and I only want to customize page 3, the third image in, then I only have to download that one image, and then it becomes shareable to social media. So that's just our year in review post. Let's see. We're going to have our Chief Sustainability Officer on in a few minutes. If you're a LAER agent, you can get a copy of our sustainability report here. There's also a cool little final walkthrough document that you can edit over here. This is kind of like a cool little checklist when you're going on that final walkthrough to kind of give to your buyer to make sure that they're looking at everything they should be looking at in that final walkthrough. I also like this weekly update report. Now, if you've only been in real estate since the pandemic, you probably don't know what this is. But in the old days, before the pandemic, there was 6 to 8 months inventory in many of our marketplaces. A home would go on the market and it did not sell in a week. Usually it took several months or several weeks at least to sell a house. So before the pandemic, we had systems in place that you could give your seller a weekly update as to what was happening on their listing. I think we're moving towards that again. I see it in many of our markets. We're seeing price reductions and stuff like that. So I think this is kind of a cool little report. You have to go in and manually update it. So that's the downside to this particular report, is you have to decide what is it you're going to track. So for example, you might want to track how many, if you're LAER, because you get the Boost by Home Spotter for free from the company, you might want to track how many views those listings are getting. On Zillow and Realtor.com, that's public information. You can go to the listing link on Zillow and Realtor.com and look at all the views and then update this. So you'll have to go in and manually update it, but I do think we're moving back towards a more stable market where homes aren't going to sell in a week, that you will have to stay in contact and update your seller weekly about how many showings they had and how many other houses are on the market and how many inquiries they've got that you've gotten on the property. Next is there's the home buying monopoly board. Next is our trusted vendor list. If any of you guys have taken my growth systems class, the Alcorn growth systems program, we do a lot around this whole vendor program. It's really important as real estate agents that our business is a byproduct of our sphere of influence. So we're constantly having to stay in touch with buyers and sellers and staying in front of people. That's why one of the things we're going to cover today is set it and forget it systems. Set it and forget it systems are absolutely essential for your business. It's the only way to scale your business. But also, as you're growing your list of potential buyers and sellers to work with, you should simultaneously be growing your vendor list. That's not only like your mortgage and title companies, those of course you should be, but there's so many vendors in your marketplace, from like house cleaning companies, roofers, painters, flooring companies, because where the average person knows 140 people statistically, an average business owner knows like 10 times as many people. They too have their own database. They too are marketing to their sphere of influence. So there's absolute ways to force multiply the work that you're doing in your business by building your trusted vendor list. So this is a template for you to use to build that. I also love this little buyers or top 10, a locals guide. So this has to be updated by you, but it's basically like a little 2-page brochure that you would update about your marketplace. So this has Boston, but let's just say you live in Delray Beach, Florida. Then you would do the top 10 places to explore in Delray Beach. These are super cute because it's like the best farmers market, the best boutiques, the best brunch places. So these are really cool. You can customize these. So maybe you don't want to have the best park, you want to have the best playgrounds, for example. You can customize any of the boxes, but what's cool about these is that they're great for open houses to showcase everything you know about the local area. But what's also cool about these is go to all 10 places and ask if you can leave these for their customers. So go to the local coffee shop and say, I have featured your business in my little locals guide about the best places to have 10 best places to explore in Delray Beach. Is it okay if I leave some of these for your customers to pick up? So many of them will, at least half of the businesses are going to say yes to that. So not only does it make you look like you really know your marketplace at an open house, but they're really cool to leave at the local businesses that you feature.
Stacey, we have a question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So yeah, there's a question about the cost for accessing our Canva designs.
The cost is $0. So all you have to do is open and start editing. The one thing, and we're going to cover this again when we get to our little presentation on Canva, is that if you're familiar with Canva, there's 2 versions of Canva. There's a free version and there's a paid version. I believe the paid version is now $15 a month, roughly. And so that's $15 per month. They have a discount if you pay for it yearly. So this is why as a real estate agent, I think you should have the paid version. And I'll tell you why. That being said, you can still use all of our stuff, even if you have the free version of Canva. So at the end of the day, you can use all of our stuff for free. We've done all the design work. You feel it's yours. Take it, use it, and go build a successful business with it. But let's talk about the paid version of Canva on here. So as you keep going down, there's listing presentations, buyer guides, seller guides. Really important. You do want to go in and make these your own. So we've done 95% of the work for you, but you do want to read them and make sure you agree with whatever the philosophies are in each of the pieces. And then customize them. So you're going to want to add your photo, your contact information, your logo, your bio. We have like a really cool expired listing package. If you're going after expired listings, it's a nice booklet about why a home may not have sold. We also have a buyer guide and a seller guide, but let's just go to the buyer's guide so I can show you something. Okay, we're looking at the buyer's guide right now. This one is a 16-page booklet. So the way I see most agents using this, once it's customized, is they'll go in, first of all, customize with your photo and a bio and your phone number and email address. You can change out the logos. 100% of this is unlocked. So 100% of this document can be changed. So let's just say that you have the free version of Canva. Now, most of our stuff, we prefer the paid version of Canva. The reason we love the paid version of Canva is 2 reasons. Number one, you can share a lot of your stuff right to social media from Canva. So you don't have to download and then share it. In other words, it has like a social media scheduling platform for agents that want to be able to design or edit pieces right here and then share it to their social media platforms right from within the Canva. So that's really cool, but that's not the main reason why we have it as a brokerage. The number one reason we have Canva, we have the paid version of Canva, is for stock images. A stock image is like these 2 images right here. This one that says home sweet home and this one with the key. A stock image is an image that, so Canva has, if you have the free version of Canva, there are a lot of stock images, thousands of stock images to choose from. If you are a paid subscriber of Canva for the $15, $15 a month, there are literally millions of stock images. So we like having a very robust amount of really nice images to work with for our marketing pieces. Now, this is where you might get definitely not stuck, but let's say that we prepared this, so you want to take the LAER buyer's guide and make it your own. Well, sometimes what's going to happen if you're using a free version of Canva, when you open one of our templates, occasionally, and this is only if you're using a free version of Canva, occasionally you're going to be going through our booklet, for example, and you're going to see a big X. So you'll see the home sweet home image, but there's a big X across it. That is because when we designed the product or this buyer's guide, we used an image that is not available to the free version of Canva. So does that mean that you must go now buy the expensive version of Canva? No, you do not have to. What it does mean is you'll have to change the photo. So Canva does make it very easy for you to, you'll have 2 options. One, you can go into the images at Canva, and there's always, like I said, there's thousands of free images for you to use in Canva, even if you have the paid version. So your options are simple. You can go use one of the free images, or maybe you have your own photo. So maybe you have some nice images because you had a listing recently and you want to just upload the photos you already own. There's an upload feature. So if you're using the free version of Canva, we always use the paid version. If you're using the free version, occasionally you're going to see a big X across one of our images. And all that means is that you'll have to change out the image for that page. So other than that, we don't charge for any of our design work or our marketing people, any of that. So you just can open and begin using. So let's go back to some of these pieces. I'll let you guys explore further. All of these are at LAERagentservices.com. And just to go back to where we started so you can see this. When I came on to LAER Agent Services, I just went down to marketing, branding, and presentations. And I went to guides, presentations, brochures. And then just make sure you note that there's two different scroll bars here, so you don't miss anything. So one of the things I would suggest, I said at the beginning of today's program that you should think about the 5 things you're going to go execute on, because knowledge is not power, execution is power. One of the things I do believe you should execute on as an agent is, I believe that you should always have, like, at your fingertips, a really nice package for buyers, a really nice package for sellers, and a really nice package for investors. And what I mean by a package is a folder with your company logo on the front, as well as information in that package. If it's for buyers, it's information about buying, it's information about your brokerage, it's your resume, what makes you different. If it's a seller package, it's going to have something different. If it's an investor package. But what's important is almost everything you need for your packages is right on these pages. So I would pick a few of these things. For example, if I were making a, if I was doing a seller package, I would use this book. This is like a 20-page book, the LAER Agent Seller Guide. You go customize it to yourself, but it's a 20-page book about selling a home. So I would include that. I would include a sample listing sheet if it was a seller guide. I would include, see if there's any, a 20-point marketing plan. Of course, you have to customize it. I would include a brochure about my company. If you're a LAER agent, that brochure is right here. It's a 4-page brochure about our brokerage. There's other stuff I would pick here. I might put that locals guide in just to show I'm an expert. If I have all my vendors filled out in my trusted vendor list, I would absolutely put that in all my packages. I would put the home selling monopoly board piece in my seller package and the home buyer monopoly board in my buyer package. So everything you need, you got to just pick and choose, but I would definitely have a nice buyer package, seller package, and investor package. So if you do not have these at your fingertips, I think that should be one of the top things that you go execute on. 2 stories I have for you. When I did sell real estate, I haven't sold real estate now in probably 17 or 18 years. But many years ago, at the beginning of my career, I was a real estate agent and I was very young. I was just getting out of college and I wanted to get listings, and I had no sphere of influence because most of my friends were not buying houses yet. So I went after expired listings. And so every morning I would wake up super early at 5 in the morning and I would go on and pull my hut sheet from MLS to see all the properties that expired in the last since yesterday. And I chose to go, I would bring my seller packages and I would go show up at the seller's house between 8 and 9 in the morning. Because I felt like I'd always get people, not always, but oftentimes I would get people who were getting ready for work or getting their kids off to school. And all it was dropping off a package. I would knock on the door and say, my name's Stacey Alcorn. I saw that your contract expired with your brokerage. Just wanted to give you my package in case you are exploring brokerage options. And I can't tell you, I was definitely one of the highest performing expired converters in my market. That is how I originally was able to do business at a very young age with no sphere of influence. So that's why I think those packages are really important. Definitely super important with buyers as well. With all the things happening in the changes with NAR and stuff, one of the things we must become better at as real estate agents is articulating our value to buyers. We have for the last 20 years been pretty good at articulating our value to sellers. That's very commonplace in our business. It's normal to show up at a listing presentation and show our value, to go through a listing presentation and have a package and say, this is what I offer as a real estate agent. I think it's very uncommon for that to happen with buyers. I still think there's a lot of people that get a call and they go show a house and we have not even articulated our value. I think one of the benefits of all this stuff that's happening, and yes, it is a benefit, like everything that's going on in the marketplace, what an opportunity for the agents that are engaged in their businesses to like dig in and become even better at what you do. One of the biggest opportunities that comes out of this is, hey, let's become super good, whether it's a seller or a buyer, let's become really good at articulating our value. One last piece on having these packages prepared for you. I always say that, like, we as humans give off energy. We are energy. So we give off energy. And that means we are having conversations with people all around us all day long, and it is not verbal. We are having conversations. So, for example, what I tell agents is, if you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and you go to the grocery store in your pajamas, are you saying to the people around you that you want business? Now, you might say like, oh, I don't care what I look like. Like, honestly, what you're doing is you're putting out a vibration that you really don't want business right now because you're not ready for business. I feel that's true with even having your packages ready. Like, when you wake up and you get dressed and you put on a nice outfit every day, when you have your buyer packages, your seller packages, your investor packages done, you are telling the universe, every minute of every day, I am open for business. And you go to your Starbucks or to your grocery store and you're just waiting. You're like, yes, any minute somebody's gonna ask me about real estate. And when they do, I've got a package in the car. I'm gonna give them and say, oh, I heard you say something about needing a home. I've got a package for you. Are open for business. So I guarantee you, just the act alone of creating those packages is going to generate business, because it is about the conversations that you are having out in the universe without your lips even moving. You're not speaking, your energy is doing all the talking. So here we are at 9:52, and we have only clicked on one button. So we have a lot still to cover, and that is literally tens of thousands of dollars worth of really good information, and we have just started today's program. So a couple other things. If you're a LAER agent, every Monday you get a text message from our social media team. So every Monday at LAER, you get a text message saying, here's your social media posts for the week. Every week we proudly give you 7 to 10 social media posts for the week. They are little posts about buying a house, selling a house. If there's a holiday, there's posts about the holidays. They're formatted all different ways. So if you're a LAER agent, you get those right in your inbox each Monday. But every agent can go in and use all of our pieces. So if you guys are ever looking for social media content for anybody, this is all of our posts. So LAER agents, we're going to text these to you anyways. Every Monday, you're going to get your week's worth of social images. But for any agent watching today's program, everything's here for the taking. One thing that we're super proud of is when we deliver our social media pieces, we don't do the bare minimum amount of work. First of all, you're going to get a well-designed piece. So you're also going to see that the pieces are formatted for different types of posts. So for example, you'll see this one here is formatted a couple different ways. This one over here is for a Facebook or Instagram story, while this one is for an actual post. So there's a couple ways that you guys can use these. Now, if you're a LAER agent, I think the easiest way to use these is just download the image. So when I highlight over a box, I can just download this image. But for anybody watching, you can also just click on the Canva template. So if you want to actually change the image, if you're a LAER agent, I really don't think you have to change the image. I don't think it's super necessary to add your photo and contact information to the image, because if somebody's seeing it, they're seeing it on your Facebook page. So, but if you do want to change anything, or you're with a different brokerage and you want to change out logos, you just click on the Canva template. It's going to open to our images for that week. And now you can change it. So there's that particular image. One other thing I'm really proud of with our marketing team, I said we don't do just the bare minimum amount of work. Here's the image. So we say, here's 2 different formats. Download the image if you're a LAER agent and just share it. If you want to customize it, click on the Canva template. But how cool is this? What's interesting, we constantly pull our agents, and when we started offering this product about 2 years ago, we said, how come more agents aren't using it? And so we started pulling the agents, and they said, well, I love all the images, but then I don't really know what to say when I'm posting the image. So then I get stuck. I want to go share the image and I get stuck because I'm not sure what to say. So we said, oh, that's easy. We'll just write what you have to say as well. We'll write all your captions for you. So if you're one of those agents that says, I want to post it, but I don't know what to say, then under these, you just download the image and then copy the text. Now, please note that you do have to do a little work, because there's a little place here that says your telephone, your email, your website. So you do have to go in and fill these out. But if you press the copy text, it's going to take all this awesome content, and that way you can just copy the captions right into your social media. But all these are updated every single week. So always new content on a weekly basis for your social media. So you never have an excuse that I couldn't post anything this week because I couldn't think of something to say on social media. Head over to LAER Agent Services, to our weekly social media assistant. This button over here is truly just for LAER agents. That's really for special marketing requests. A lot of the great stuff we do comes from these special marketing requests. So if you're a LAER agent and there's something specific that you could use some assistance with, there's a little form here, request a marketing piece. And we've given you some prompts, some of the stuff that we get asked for a lot. As you guys know, if you are a LAER agent, our marketing team does all of your marketing bundle. Every time you get a new listing, they automatically create your marketing bundle with your brochures and stuff. But our brochure is a 2-page brochure. If you need a 4-page brochure, maybe you get $1 million listing coming on the market, 2-page brochure is not going to cut it on a $1 million listing. You can request a 4-page brochure, or maybe you want a social media piece. It can be literally anything. You want help, then fill out this, and our marketing team is happy to accommodate your special requests. Let's head back. So we're still under marketing, branding, and presentations. There's some cool open house resources here. I'm going to go through this and try to keep it under 2 minutes. First of all, if you're a LAER agent and you have inventory and you want somebody to cover an open house, we have hundreds of agents that want to do the open house for you. They do it because they want the leads. So if you want to take a weekend off and let another agent cover your open house, we have a nice little form here that you fill out. That sends out an email to all the agents in whichever LAER office you select. So we have about 35 LAER offices. You select which office. You fill out all the information about the open house, the date, property address, what time you want, and then which offices you want to notify. It's not possible that we don't have somebody that wants to cover your open house. Also, if you're doing a broker open house at LAER, we want to make sure that our agents come out and support it. So make sure that you fill out the same type of form, just a quick, easy form you fill out, but that notifies all the agents, all the LAER agents in the marketplace, that there's a broker open house so that they can show up. All right, all the other stuff down at the bottom is for every agent. These are marketing pieces for your open houses. So just kind of, we add to this all the time, but sometimes you just want like a cool welcome sign for your open house. These are all in Canva as well. So you can go in and customize these as much as you want. We have cool sign-in sheet, so you can edit that. Let's see. Interior signs, these are kind of cool. Especially if you have very busy open houses and there's stuff around the house that you want to point out to people. These cute little signs are a way to do it. A feedback survey. These are great. I love these surveys, especially as the market starts to shift. When houses aren't selling as quickly and you want to get some feedback so that you can hand it to your seller. These are just another form of a sign-in sheet, but it's a feedback sheet for the property. So these are also great for broker open houses to invite everybody to the broker open house and just ask that every agent fill one of these out so you can give some feedback to the seller. And then some other cool things. I love these little tags for just have like a little Popeye giveaway at your open house. They're little popcorn tags that you would put on microwave popcorn. So if you want to have a little basket of giveaways, these print out and you just cut out the tag and put it on microwave popcorn packets, and it says, hey, thanks for popping by my open house. Super cute. We have 2 formats of that tag. So one is a bigger one is a smaller one. Depending what size. You can either print it on paper and tape it, or buy like the bigger labels and print on those. And then last we have down here some cool activity sheets. These are also in Canva. These are, when you're doing open houses, don't forget about the kids coming through. So you want to have some great little pieces in there for different age groups, some coloring pieces, word search. Design your own for sale sign, draw your perfect home. There's a little maze on there. So some cool kids stuff for your open houses. Let's go back. That was all under the open house section. Commercial resources. This is kind of new for us. Last 6 months, we have a lot of agents because National Association of Realtors said we're going to see a 30% decrease in business this year. So we've been doing all kinds of classes and stuff to try to help agents be more engaged in other niches. And one of those niches is commercial real estate. So we've been building this section out. I would imagine if you come back here in 6 months, it's going to be even more robust. But a couple things I want you to know is that, first of all, we did create like a commercial listing presentation, a commercial offering memorandum. So if you're doing some commercial real estate and you wanted like a nice little booklet and you don't want it to look like you're a residential agent when you open it, this booklet is wonderful. It's like a 25-page book about commercial real estate. So it's tips on buying commercial real estate and what to look for. It talks about 1031 exchanges, commercial lending, super robust. All of this can be 100% customized. So you can take out stuff and add stuff. And we're fairly new at commercial real estate. If you're a LAER agent, you can find all the commercial logos there. For any agent, you don't have to be a LAER agent. We do have a commercial network. Basically, we have a group of agents that meet on a monthly basis to talk about commercial real estate. If you're interested and you don't have to be a LAER agent to participate in this, you just sign this up. It just adds you to a commercial email list. So once a month, you'll get an invitation to whatever we're working on for commercial real estate. And then some training resources as well. So that piece we're still building on. And that was under commercial resources. Let's click on signs, apparel, and print marketing really quick, because I think there's a couple things that you'll want to see here. Now, if you're a LAER agent, all these are like for sale signs, open house signs, business cards, clothing. If you click on any of these and you're a LAER agent, it opens up in designs for LAER agents. So tons of marketing. But really what I want to show everybody here, whether you're a LAER agent or not a LAER agent, is some really cool tools that will 100% make your life easier. You're going to want to get out your pen for this section, because this is going to be one of the top 5 things that you're going to go execute on after today's program. So number 1, I constantly remind agents, if you're like me and you've been in the business for 20 plus years, then you probably remember the old days of going to the office or going to Staples and buying the 4-up postcards on cardstock and running your postcards, whether it was like free CMA postcards or just listed or just sold postcards, and you would run them through the printers at your office, and then you would sit and like either hand address your envelopes or print out labels. And you remember that you'd spend like 7 hours to get your 200 postcards out in the mail. Okay, you should absolutely never, ever, 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 ever be sitting in an office addressing postcards. It is not a good use of your time. There are too many ways to get print materials in front of a customer without you doing it. So it's interesting because our marketing team at LAER gets requests of agents, can you design me this postcard? And so our protocol with our marketing department is always say yes, because that's our job. We'll happily design your postcard. So we design it and we say, here, we've designed it, but please don't use it. It is a waste of your time for you to print this, and here's how to get this done in a quick and efficient manner. Number 1 is MLS Mailings. MLS Mailings is a postcard mailing company, and what they're great at is just listed, just sold postcards. That's it. So it hooks into your MLS. The pricing is, let's see, I think I can easily find the pricing. Oh, there it is, pricing. I mean, it's for 100 to go out on a small postcard, it's $91. For a large postcard, it's $123. That includes your postage. So basically, this service hooks into your MLS. So anytime in your business, you can find a set it and forget it product, a product that's going to be working for you even when you're sleeping. You should sign up for it, because that's one of the biggest challenges in our business is that oftentimes when agents get busy and they have buyers and sellers that they're working with, they stop doing all the stuff that got them the buyers and sellers. So we need to find products that are still doing the work for us, even when we're not actually pulling the strings. We have to just set it up so that it's working for us. MLS Mailings is one of those. So set it up that you've got 100 postcards going out every time you list a house and every time you sell a house. Super easy. Second one I'm a huge fan of is the personal marketing company, TPMCO. They have a lot of products, but there's one in particular, and I always mess up a little bit when I'm trying to find the particular product that I'm looking for. I think it's targeted. Let's just see. Sergio usually knows which one I'm
It's
looking
the
for.
automated client follow-up right below that.
Okay, I always click on the wrong one. Okay, this is the one I love. They have all kinds of cool products, but the one you can't beat is their automated client follow-up program. Let's take a look at what this is. So basically you pay once, $25, you pay once, $25, and for the next 5 years, your client is going to get 21 mailings from you. How phenomenal is that for a set it and forget it program? So in my opinion, every time you close a transaction, because there are statistics from the National Association of Realtors say that we as real estate agents are super horrible at staying in touch with people after they close with us. I know this for a fact because in my neighborhood, I have like 12 houses in this little cul-de-sac neighborhood. And at a cookout last year, I was asking them, we all bought our houses like 10 years ago. And I was curious, I'm like, who is your real estate agent? Who is your real estate agent? Literally nobody could remember who their real estate agent was. I'm like, that's insane. Like the person doesn't mail to you or anything, but the whole neighborhood was at this party and none of their real estate agents have stayed in touch with them. This is a set it and forget it. This should be something you execute on. This is a must. Every time you close on a property, it's a $25 investment for a future commission. That's going to be a game changer for your business. Wise Pelican, also really awesome marketing company. What I love Wise Pelican for is postcards. So what's cool about Wise Pelican is that you can mail postcards. First of all, you can go in and create a very custom marketing piece, but also they have thousands to choose from. So it's super easy to design stuff. And you can either upload your database. So if you want to mail to the people who you already work with, upload your database and send it to your database, or you could just circle an area. If you want all these postcards to go to this neighborhood, you just circle the area on a map and it will say, oh, this is how many people and this is what the cost will be to hit everybody in that neighborhood. So this is like, if you just want to do a general mailer, like, hey, do you want a free CMA on your house or equity review on your house, and you want to mail it to your neighborhood, this is where to do that. That's Wise Pelican. Some other cool ones, Yellow Letters Complete I've used. They're great. Like if you want somebody to actually handwrite note cards for you, maybe you want to send like a handwritten holiday card to 500 of your closest friends, and you don't want to have sore hands for the holidays. So you can give that project to Yellow Letters Complete. They'll price it out for you and say, yeah, we'll have somebody handwrite your 500 holiday cards for you. And then RSP, Data Driven Marketing, that's just another print marketing company. Here's the moral of the story from the last 30 seconds. The moral of the story is you should never print postcards at your office. Please, as a broker owner, all I can tell you is when I get a call that a printer is jammed, it's usually postcards or the labels, because you run labels through and then the labels get stuck in the drums and stuff. But beyond that, because we can get a printer fixed, that's not a big deal. That's not what really bothers me. What bothers me is that there's a real estate agent who could be like doing other things, that's spending 6 hours like putting labels on a postcard, and you guys are too valuable for that. You got to be out working with buyers and sellers and let the systems work for you. Couple other things that you may not want to miss is the ROAR report. Who would love to have a great newsletter to hand out to customers on a monthly basis? By the way, there's 2 different types of newsletters that you should be working with in your business. One is a print newsletter. A print newsletter is cool because you can put those in your buyer, seller, and listing packages. Also, print newsletters are cool because you can leave them at your open houses. You can send them to your sphere of influence. I love the print newsletters because if you've been through my Algorwin class, where I teach the algorithm to building a successful real estate business. If you've been through that program, then you know I spend a great deal of time showing you how to build that vendor list. Because what I say earlier is that the average human knows 140 people. The average business person knows 10 times that number of people, and they're marketing to them regularly. I love this little newsletter because it's a way to build your vendor partnerships, because each month you can go in and customize your template, and every month you can pick a new vendor that you're going to feature. So just know, if you're going to use this version of our newsletter, there's a standard and a tabloid, just depending on what kind of print paper you're gonna print on. If you want to do 11 by 17 that folds into a 4-page newsletter, you can do the tabloid. If you just want to print 4 pages on 8.5 by 11, you can click on the standard. So let's look at the tabloid. So basically this comes out every single month, and we are very cognitive of the fact that we have agents in all different marketplaces, from Florida to New England. Also, you'll see like if there's an upcoming holiday coming, things like that. So what's cool about this newsletter, we've done all the work for you. So really, for the most part, it should only take you about 5 to 10 minutes to customize this, and it's ready to print. However, this is where you can go interview a vendor. So let's say that your favorite place to go every Friday night is this really cool pizza place down the street. Do you know the owner of the pizza place? Would they refer you business? Well, if they don't know you, that's a shame, because you guys are both trying to build your businesses in a similar marketplace. So reach out to the owner of the pizza place and say, hey, I've been coming there every Friday night for the last 3 years. I run a successful real estate business right in your marketplace. Would you be open to me coming down to your pizza place when it's not busy? I'll come in at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to spend a half an hour with you asking you about your business. And I want to feature you in my upcoming newsletter. I put this newsletter in my buyer packages, my seller packages. I share it at open houses, and I mail it out to my past customers. I want to feature you. By the way, I'm happy to give you 100 copies of that newsletter, and you can leave it in your pizza place to share with your customers about how much I love this place so much that I come here every Friday night. Can I come interview you? So we talk about this in my Alcorn class on how to do this, but this ROAR report, you can change the name of your newsletter, by the way. All that's customizable. This is where you do all that. This is where you cut out this section of any section, really, any section of the newsletter, and you feature your article. In our Alcorn class, we go through all the questions to ask when you do those vendor interviews, by the way. So all that is built off of Canva. If you're a LAER agent, we have all kinds of logos and stuff under this link. Seasonal pop-by tags. One of the other things we talk about in the Alcorn program, by the way, if you've never been on our boot camp before and you're like, what the heck is this Alcorn program? Well, that's a growth system that we developed at LAER, and it's the program that shows you how to get to 30 transactions a year. And don't worry, I'm going to give you that program. So that's why you're going to want to stay on, even though we're not even halfway done. You're going to want to stay on till the end, because I'm going to give you that program where you can download it. And not only do you have all these tools that we just covered, the Alcorn program, which shows you the algorithm to success. Certain input into your business will create a certain output to your business. That is where you bring all the pieces of the puzzle together. Everything that we talk about today. Well, the other piece we talk about in the Alcorn class is pop-bys. So part of that system is that you stay in touch with your sphere of influence by going out and meeting regularly with your sphere of influence, your next door neighbors, everybody. And we don't want you to go empty-handed. We want you to bring a small item of value anytime you're visiting someone. And so one of the things our agents ask for is, well, can you give us the tags? Because I don't know what to say, or I don't have the time to sit and think about what to bring. So we have every type of pop-by here. There's probably about 20 or 25 of them. So let's just take a look at holiday ones. So the holidays are here. What would be a cool little gift that would help you stand out while you're going out and knocking on doors to say hello to your past customers over the next 30 days? Why not gift wrap? I mean, gift wrap is so easy. You can go pick up a roll for $1 at the dollar store. And we made these cute little gift tags. Hey, thank you for helping me wrap up a great year of serving you and your referrals. So go knock on the door saying, hey, just wanted to reach out and say, I hope you have an awesome holiday season, and you can never have too much gift wrap during this time of year. So I want to just drop off some gift wrap. Anyways, that's just one example. There's a whole bunch of them here. All of them are in Canva format, so you could print them onto a label or onto paper and just stick them onto your gift item. All right, let's see.
Okay, there was another question, Stacey.
Yes.
In the chat. This is coming in for the hosts and panelists. Feel free to throw it in for everyone, by the way. Click the little everyone button so everybody can see your questions. I think it's helpful. But there's a question about NARN, Prime MLS Paragon. How do I get MLS mailings? I'm part of, the New Hampshire MLS. Does that apply?
Oh, yes, it does. Yes. So all you have to do is, if you go through MLS mailings, they help hook you up to any of the MLSs. So this is not something that your MLS has to have like in their dashboard. So for example, MLS PIN, if I go into MLS PIN, which is the primary MLS that I use on a regular basis, I'm not going to see anything in there about MLS mailings. Instead, I have to go to MLS mailings, and then it's going to ask me all these questions about which MLS I'm in. So yes, you can hook it up to any of them. If anybody finds that that's not true, please let me know. But from what I'm aware of, it works with every single MLS. But if by chance somebody ever gets stuck in there, they say, oh no, it doesn't work with this one, please shoot me an email. I would love to know that, but I've never heard that of an MLS it didn't work with. Okay. Next section. So we just spent the last 90 minutes going through just the marketing. So hopefully you guys have written down a bunch of stuff that you're going to go execute on, because what do we say? Knowledge is not power. Execution is power. Your 2024 is going to be the byproduct, not on the class you took today. This class can potentially change the trajectory of your business beginning today, but that is only if you execute. So that is the one caveat, because sadly, the opposite is true. You could spend 3 hours of your very valuable time today learning all kinds of new tools and resources, and it is your prerogative to do nothing with it. And if that's the case for you, your trajectory does not change today. Your trajectory changes based on you deciding on what you're going to execute on. What are some of the things we said we could execute on today? Well, we said you could execute on putting your buyer, seller, investor packages. That's probably, like, with all the resources we gave you, that's probably 2 hours. So in 2 hours, you could have like really nice buyer, seller, and investor packages. So that's a 2 hour investment of execution time. I'd also say setting up the $25 program so that once you close on a transaction, you set up a client under the TPMCO, the personal marketing company, so that for 5 years after a closing, that client will receive correspondence from you. I would also say the MLS mailings is another one. So there's 3 things I would 100% go execute on. There's others too. I think that vendor list is more powerful than people give it credit for, but we spend a lot of time on that in the Alcorn program, which means if you're going to go execute on that vendor list, you'll have to also execute on your monthly newsletter, because that is going to be the vehicle that drives your vendor program. Agent growth and development. Really quick, classes, meetings, and coaching. Everybody who's on this call today, you have 100% access to all of the training classes that we do. The best place to get all these is our YouTube station. So if you click on our YouTube button there, so for example, I see our social media team is like second to none. They're the best social media team in the whole country, if you ask me. And they prepare a monthly social media masterclass, and that was delivered live yesterday. So I could see that just in the last 24 hours, we got a brand new 1-hour social media masterclass presented by our director of social media. There's hundreds of classes on here. So as you guys can see, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of classes for you to dig into. And by the way, we understand that your time is valuable. We want you out with buyers and sellers. There's nothing that we teach that is fluff. Like, it's all good content. It is vetted content. We are not going to waste your time with sales pitches. We are not going to waste your time telling you to, like with basic motivational stuff. Do we have classes on how to change your mind and change your life? 100%. Do we have growth system classes? 100%. But everything on here, some of the best content in the entire industry, I promise you. Go subscribe. All you have to do right now to execute on this one little item is subscribe. And by subscribing, that's just going to be a little ping, a little reminder to you a couple times a week, like, hey, LAER just put out this awesome program on marketing for humans. Go watch that. LAER just put out a class on Real Scout training. So as well, you'll get a ping this afternoon that LAER just put out the recording of today's boot camp. So that's one thing you'll want to go do right away. There's some other cool, if you want to check out our upcoming training, you can click on this link here, which is our training calendar, and sign up for any, if there's something that really excites you that's coming up. There's all kinds of classes. LAER University also has hundreds and hundreds of classes. We try to weed out some of the stuff on our YouTube station occasionally. And so we put some of our older content at laeruniversity.com. Sales meeting, our company sales meeting is always on the second Wednesday of the month. If you're a LAER agent, you'll definitely want to check that out. It's only a 1-hour meeting and it's jam-packed. We're not wasting anybody's time in that 1-hour meeting, which is why we get such huge engagement in our monthly meetings. So, one other thing before I head over to our growth systems is, if you are a LAER agent, we have a phenomenal coaching program. Unfortunately, this part of it is just for LAER agents, and we don't charge anything for it. You go onto this form at laerrealty.com/LAER coaching, and it tells you all about the program. We wrote our own 250-page manual to building a successful real estate business. Each month has a checklist of things to do, from people to meet, classes to take, forms to learn. And for the first 6 months of the program, we assign a coach to you. So, and by the way, our coaches are the best of the best, the creme de la creme of real estate. We pay the coaches to coach our up and coming agents. So the coach that gets assigned to you is a high performing agent. Our average coach does about $10 million a year in sales, which means they're earning about $250,000 a year in gross revenues. They work off of our coaching manual, but these are the creme de la creme. We want them to be able to help guide you through, give you accountability, and answer the difficult questions when it gets hard. And we all know that this business gets hard. Going back, under agent growth systems, and I'll have to have you come up next, Craig, because I know that you have a hard stop in about 30 minutes. Business plans and growth systems. All right. This is the time of year. I'm so happy that we got a bunch of people to join us today for the boot camp, because this is the time of year when champions are made in our business. This is the time of year where typically things slow down a little bit, and at least in the New England market. Florida seems to get a little busier this time of year. But when things slow down, that's when the champions are made. Because the champions, when things slow down, they dig in and they look at, like, what did I do in the last, or what was it from the last 12 months I can do better? Where are the areas that I can improve upon? And so they're digging into business planning and growth system. So we have a few for you to choose from here. Number one, the Alcorn system that I've been talking about. This is the book we wrote on how to get to your first 30 transactions a year. It is an algorithm. We built this by going and interviewing every one of our agents, and we have a lot of them at LAER that are $10 million producers or more. We wanted to know, so we had about 40 or 50 of those agents that do $10 million, earning $250,000 or more. And we went and asked them 200 questions about their business. And then from that, we were able to get a list. Here's a list of all the things that those 200 the agents do from those 200 questions. And then we weeded out the stuff that some of the agents do, but others don't. And then we compiled this program by really understanding what do high performers all do to get to consistent business. Because I talk to real estate agents every day. It was super interesting. I was doing a recruiting call with an agent the other day, and this agent said to me, the market's difficult, there are no buyers, I need leads, and what are you going to do different for me than other brokerages would? And I said, the first thing I would work on, and what our team will work on, is your mindset. Because with everything you just said, I said, you just disclosed to me all of your beliefs about our industry right now. And with your current beliefs, you cannot be successful. That is the bottom line. So don't waste your time taking classes on how to convert leads. Don't even sign up for lead programs, because the way your mind right now is wired, you are not programmed for success. So this program is about programming you for success. It's about action steps, it's about execution, but it's also about energy and mindset and mindfulness, because it all goes together. If you've been in the industry for 20 years, like I have, then you see there are agents that seem to do all the right things. They go to 100 classes, they'll sit in their office and do cold call, like they're doing everything right, and they still do no business. And that is because their energy is not properly aligned with their goals. This Alcorn system has it all. It is about creating and aligning your energy so that you're getting the new business. Just like I said earlier, if you're showing up at the grocery store in your pajamas, you're not open for business. We're having conversations all day long through our energy. So Alcorn addresses all of that, but it's also a step-by-step system. So if you've never heard of the program or you have not participated in one of my classes, you can actually download the entire booklet here. Download the Alcorn workbook. I will tell you there's a little form in there that asks you some questions about your business, but once you get to the end of the form, you can download the booklet. It's a PDF, it's about 100 pages, and it gives you the entire system. I do recommend through January, we're doing classes, a lot of live classes on that program. I do recommend that you get out and try one of those classes because it really enhances the actual booklet. There's also an income producing activities checklist. This is just for mindset stuff, especially this time of year. If you're a little bit slower, it's easy to, when you're slow, it's super important to focus on proper, successful mindset, because for many real estate agents, our minds can go to a dark place very quickly in a market that changes. In fact, that's why I believe that many real estate agents, if you look at their businesses, it's like a curve. They do a lot of business, they do no business, they do a lot of business, they do no business. It's all kinds of like peaks and valleys. That has everything to do with mindset. So they're doing a lot of things right. Also, you got to focus on like some of the other stuff we said, which is set it and forget it systems, things like that. So that's the Alcorn system. If you want something more conventional, like just an actual business plan, this one This is our LAER business planning tool. This is like a traditional real estate plan. Let's see, it's 45 pages long. So this is like if you want the traditional stuff that you see in real estate for the last 20 years, like goal setting and stuff like this. This is a wonderful book. It's highly organized. This is great if you have a team, to get your team together in December or January, have everybody print out a copy of this version of the business plan so you can all sit down together and work on your goals. There's also one called the Simple Plan. This one is a little different from the algorithm class. It's also different from a traditional business plan class, because this one really has you focus on the wholes. Like, for you to do more business, let's just say that you're always doing, by the way, for most people within a 10-year period, they do within a 10% variance of whatever they did for business the year before. So in other words, if you're doing $2 million a year in business for the last 3 years of your business, then in your head you are a $2 million per year agent. So if you want to be doing $10 million a year, you first must become in your own head the $10 million agent. It's a different human being. You have to become a different human being than the current human being you are. And this simple plan helps you dissect, what does that human being that will exist 12 months from now look like then? What are they doing different from the human being who I am now? So this is just a third version of a type of planning session where you really evaluate your current conditions and mindset and compare it to the conditions and mindset that must exist to become the person who can achieve the higher goals. So those are the 3 different business planning tools. What I think I will do now is take a break for a few minutes. We'll come back to this, but there's a box down here about sustainability, and we're so lucky at LAER Realty because if you had to pick the biggest bigwig of sustainability in all of the real estate industry to be your chief sustainability officer, like everybody knows, if you go to conferences and stuff, I mean, LAER Realty, we have a pretty big presence in New England and Florida, but if you go to the conferences, like these big national conferences, and you ask, do you know Stacey Alcorn? Most people are gonna say, no, I never heard of Stacey Alcorn. But if you say Craig Foley, everybody knows Craig Foley. He's like a rock star in our industry and in sustainability, and we're so lucky to have him at LAER Realty as our chief sustainability officer. So I know all of you guys already recognize Craig, but I want to welcome Craig on to just talk about some of the sustainability initiatives at LAER and how you guys should think about sustainability for your business. So welcome, Craig.
Thank you, Stacey. You're making me blush now, so thanks. I'm going to switch to our slide deck for sustainability.
Yep.
But thank you very much for the kind intro. Really appreciate it. There is a lot of stuff going on, definitely, in this sustainability space, this intersection of real estate and sustainability, not only in our areas of the country that we serve, but nationally as well, as Stacey pointed out. And I've had really good fortune to be involved as a volunteer leader at LAER to really move this intersection of real estate and sustainability forward. There's been a ton of stuff that have happened, particularly over the last 5 years, that have really engaged our members or associations on this topic, and for good reason. We're realizing throughout the country that U.S. consumers are making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. So one of the things that we're really trying to do is not only walk the walk, but talk the talk. We've got to be able to get the message out about the work that we're doing to engage the communities that we live and work in, our staff, our realtors for LAER to be able to take advantage of the consumer interest in these topics that we're dealing with. This is a site called the Green Building Registry. This is a really great little site that's relatively new, and you can see, excuse me, I'm dealing with a terrible cough, as you can hear. In Massachusetts, that number is over 193,000 now. There's 193,000 homes with significant high performance / green features associated with them. So at the very least, another executable item for you is to download the Green Building Registry. I'll put a link in if Sergio doesn't have it to put in right now, but download the Green Building Registry. And at the very least, just check when you're listing a property. You can search by address in Massachusetts, throughout the nation. You can search by address on this registry and see if that home has already installed high performance features that you're going to want to take advantage of them in the marketing and valuation of that home. In New Hampshire, a little bit over 7,000 homes that have these significant green building features. But here's the real surprise: in Florida, over 201,000 homes with significant green building features. So those are the three major real estate marketplaces that LAER is in right now. And just letting you know that this stuff is happening fast and furious. This is a very rapidly emerging part of the real estate marketplace, the residential and commercial real estate marketplace. Not only that, in Massachusetts, we try to track every year what's happening in our markets. And in Massachusetts, where the building codes are moving forward very, very fast, very aggressively. In fact, last night I was at a meeting with the Appropriations Committee for Melrose, where I live, to pass the specialized stretch code. So that did in fact pass through appropriations. It will go to the City Council, I think sometime next week. It passed with almost unanimous consent, so I know that this is going to move through the City Council as well. But to be the 31st community in Massachusetts to adopt this specialized stretch energy code for new construction buildings. So again, this stuff is moving very, very fast, and it behooves all of us as realtors to be educated, to be knowledgeable and competent about these homes with these high performance green features in them. Also tracking what's going on in Florida, for instance. I was really happy that Governor DeSantis vetoed a net metering bill that had moved through the state legislature that would have really demolished residential net metering policies in Florida. So I was very happy that Governor DeSantis got a lot of consumer feedback and realized that was the wrong way to go. So he vetoed that measure to protect the incentives for residential solar in that state. So again, trying to track this stuff across all of our geographic locations that we serve. Education's been a big part of the mission of this. I'm a real estate educator. I teach the LAER Green Designation across the United States. That's a very intense class, 2-day class, where we really look at the building science, the latest technologies like air source heat pumps, solar PV, obviously, and focus on building science in day one. And then day two, talk about how to market these homes with these high performance features and value them appropriately. And the valuation process is in fact different. And that's critical, because I fear that many real estate agents that are listing these homes that aren't looking at the additional contributory value are leaving money on the table for their clients, their listing clients. And from my perspective, I'm sure I share this with all of you, that's absolutely egregious. Part of our job is to be professional, to make sure that the seller's equity that they've invested in is being realized at the time of sale. So there is a process for doing that, and we go through that process in pretty big detail in the LAER Green Designation. I'd also like to point out that in our check request form that LAER has, there is a section when everybody wants to get paid for the work that they're doing. So the final step of that at LAER is to fill out a check request form to receive the commission that you deserve. And in that check request form, you'll see that there is a section for filling out any kind of green high performance features that may be in that property. So for instance, the left-hand column comes from MLS PIN, or MLS that we use in Massachusetts, with some of the standard things that we're going to see. This middle one, storm protection, actually comes from the Florida MLS that our Florida agents use, because resilient building features are obviously a big part of these green high performance features as well. And maybe there's something that we haven't included here in the little checkbox that you can fill in on the right, but it's really important that we want to be tracking our high performance home sales for LAER Realty Partners. As far as I know, we're the only realty company in the United States tracking this kind of stuff. It's really important that we want to show leadership here and take over these markets in our area. And as I said, there's kind of 50 shades of green, right? So we may not have everything covered here in this checkbox at the beginning. And again, if there's something that we don't have covered that you think is a high performance feature for your home sale or helping a buyer purchase a home, you can throw it in that right hand column over there. This is my home. I did a pretty extensive renovation on my home in Melrose, where I live. And you can see the results. This is an 1895 Victorian that my wife and I did a complete gut rehab on. We decarbonized the home, so we pulled off the natural gas account through National Grid, switched to heat pumps, ductless mini splits, switched to a heat pump hot water heater, and even switched to an induction cooktop, the new technology in kitchens. And we would never go back to natural gas. There's so much more control here. But what's important here with this HERS score, this HERS index score that's done by an independent third party, is the annual energy savings that you see front and center, right? So this is, again, a third party that's saying, a verified third party that's saying, look, Craig and Sally are saving $3,700 a year in their utility costs. That's money that you can take to the bank, or more importantly, an appraiser that's gone through the valuation of sustainable buildings program. And believe it or not, there are appraisers in all states that have gone through that program that actually know how to add contributory value for these homes with high performance features. And one of the most tangible numbers that an appraiser that's gone through that valuation of sustainable buildings program can use is that annual cost savings, and use a net present value tool to calculate the additional contributory value for that home. So again, we are potentially leaving money on the table when we're listing these homes and not going through the best practices of valuing homes with these high performance features. One of our great partners is a company called Pearl Certification. So you can see my home is Pearl Certified Gold. Not only is certification legitimate and helpful, and we have shown through the listings that we've sold at LAER, Pearl hired an appraiser to come up here from North Carolina to do a third-party valuation of LAER homes that were Pearl certified, and found that there was about a 4.5% increase in value for those listings that were Pearl certified. So this is, again, is part of the marketplace. We understand this. We have rigorous appraisal mechanisms to be able to ensure that these homes are valued appropriately in the marketplace. And as Stacey said, we're getting a lot of attention through National Association of Realtors nationally about the work that LAER has done to engage all of you, our great realtors, our staff, in terms of engagement on this incredible intersection of real estate and sustainability. Lots of stuff happening. And I would just like to say this straight out to people, right? Because this is something that Pro Standards, or Pro Standards Committee at NAR, is now looking at. Article 11 of our Code of Ethics requires competence in this part of the marketplace, right? In any part of the marketplace. We require that the agent be knowledgeable and competent here. So if, as an agent, you haven't taken the time, and I'm going to give you some resources where you can add some competence pretty quickly to your resume here. But if you haven't taken the time to understand how solar PV works in the residential real estate transaction, how solar panels work on the residential real estate transaction, I would say, and this is not a company policy, this is not coming from Stacey, but my feeling is that please refer that out to agents that have become knowledgeable and competent in this part of the marketplace. You risk everything. You risk a lot for Stacey if you're not competent in this part of the marketplace. We're leaving money on the table. So either get up to speed on this part of the marketplace, or we have plenty of green designated agents at LAER Realty Partners, where the leading company in the state of Massachusetts with green designated agents. There's plenty of agents for you to be able to pull from to refer that business out to make sure that the client is being served in the best way possible. And you can see this is standard of practice. Or number one, be knowledgeable about the type of property being valued, right? That's what Pro Standards is going to be looking at to see how it specifically applies to homes with high performance features, whether they're new construction or existing homes that have done remodels like mine. Also, from a fiduciary responsibility standpoint, even if you're not a realtor, you do have fiduciary responsibility. And again, that competency part of this is really, really critical. So we want to make sure you have all the training that's available for you to be able to take advantage and be the best agent that you can, serve your clients the best way that you can. Also, just want to highlight the Inflation Reduction Act was passed into law August 2022. We're all thinking about taxes next year, and particularly if you've had a great year, as most of our LAER Realty agents have had. There are great tax incentive, federal tax incentives that are open now, running all the way through 2031. So for instance, if you're a LAER agent, you've had a big year, you know you're going to get a tax hit, you might want to get a quote from a solar company to put solar panels on your rooftop. Let's say that installation costs $20,000. Well, you can take 30% of that, $6,000 off from what you owe the federal government the next year you file your taxes. So there are a ton of new incentives out there through this Inflation Reduction Act. There's a really great website, Rewire, and America has, that you can calculate very simply, and obviously talk to your tax accountant about this as well to make sure all of these incentives apply to you. But there's a ton of ways to be able to take advantage of this. Do this as a real estate agent, and please pass this information on to your past, present, and future customers about making high performance green improvements on your home. Also, just, NAR is, again, really leading in this. This is part of our 2023 to 2025 strategic plan to really be a leader as the National Association of Realtors in this space. So a lot of work going on here to move the ball forward. There's some great tools in the sustainability tool piece that is in the LAER Agent Services Guide. Definitely check that out. And I'm going to just highlight one last thing, Stacey. So I'm really excited that Massachusetts Association of Realtors reached out to me to teach part of the Graduate Realtor Institute. So if you don't know what this is a pretty intensive 6-course set that you can take over 3 years to get your Graduate Realtor Institute designation, which is, I think, one of the strongest designations that are out there. And you can see in the June 17th through 26th classes, if I tap on that, I'll be teaching 4 classes, the fundamentals of sustainable homes, smart energy, smart growth, zoning and building codes, and selling the sun, the course on residential solar panels in the residential transaction. So please sign up for this, become knowledgeable and competent in this part of the marketplace. We want to make sure we're dominating here and being the leading asset, the leading real estate brokerage in all of the states that we serve to engage homeowners that particularly have made these kinds of investments to improve their home. So that's it for me, Stacey.
All right, awesome stuff. I do agree with Craig that, first of all, there's tons of opportunity to still be a leader in sustainability as a niche, but every single month that goes by, it's becoming even more important that it has to be part of the conversations that you're having with buyers and sellers so that you don't become a liability. Craig had, or we did a class with a green appraiser, probably about a year and a half ago, and she shared a story about an agent that went on a listing appointment who did not understand that some of the sustainable features of a property do add value. So that if you have two houses that stand next to each other, one has sustainable features and one does not, that the one that has those sustainable features is more valuable from an appraiser's point of view than a home that does not have those features. And so this this agent who went out on the listing improperly priced the property. A second agent went out who was a green designated agent and ended up pricing the property at significantly more because she understood the how those sustainable features impacted the value of the property and the importance of using a green appraiser for the properties. And the point she was making is that if that person had listed with the first agent and then later found out that that agent didn't know that some of those features added to the value, it basically opens up the agent and the brokerage to a great deal of liability. So it is worth, I'll also say I got the opportunity this year to finally become green designated myself and got to take Craig's class, and it's fascinating. I think that you learn a lot of stuff that you're not even thinking about as a regular real estate agent. So as always, thank you, Craig, for all of your wisdom for our agents.
Thank you very much. Yep, I gotta take off, Stacey, because I've got an NAR meeting, so.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep, see you, bye.
All right, let's go back to our LAER program and services guide. We were just about wrapped up on that piece. Hold on one second. Get back to my sharing. All right, so we were at our LAER agent services dashboard, and I'm going to reshare right here. Couple other things that you might want to look at on this dashboard. Let's see. Oh, this you don't want to miss. Under technology tools, first of all, if you're a LAER agent, we have all of our tech bundle tools. We'll go over the tech bundle in a few minutes and we'll do a quick demo on a couple of those. But also under this section, this is really important. So I scrolled all the way down and I am at the agent toolbox, and I went to technology tools. These two AI tools are super cool. So one is a listing description generator and one is an agent bio generator. All of you guys are familiar with like all the stuff out there on AI. Some of those products are a little bit cumbersome to use, like ChatGPT. This just simplifies the process. So if you got a new listing or you have a new listing coming on the market, this is for any agent, by the way. You don't have to be a LAER agent to use this. If you go to the listing description generator, the form is going to ask you some questions about your listing. And as soon as you press send, in about 30 seconds, you'll receive an email with a listing description for the property. And it's pretty spot on. For both these tools, I say go ahead and double check everything, like definitely read it, and you might have to tweak it a little bit. But the listing description generator is absolutely phenomenal. Same with the agent bio generator. We cover this in the algorithm class because it drives me insane that there's so many real estate agents, good real estate agents, that have terrible bios online. And we talk about this in algorithm because one of the first things in the day and age that we live in, the first thing people do, imagine that your daughter brings home a new boyfriend. what's the first thing we're gonna do? We're gonna Google that person. Or imagine that you get introduced to anybody, a new service provider. Usually you're gonna Google them. So what is a customer gonna do when you get introduced to a new buyer? That buyer is probably going to Google you. So part of our Algorwin checklist system is making sure that you look phenomenal when people Google you. By the way, that's one of the top 5 things you should do when you leave today's program. Go Google you and see what it looks like. Because that's what a customer who doesn't know you, that's what they're going to see. And that's how they're going to create a perception or a judgment about you before they've met you. So I'm a big fan of having a great bio. It should be on LinkedIn. You should have it when you go on a listing or buyer presentation. It should be in your packages. It should be on your website. It should be on your company website. And it should be on realtor.com as well. Interestingly, when you Google you, typically on the first page of the Google search, that's what you really have to be concerned about. When you Google your name with like real estate, or Google your name with real estate in the town that you operate in, what's on the first page of the search? It's usually going to be your company website, your agent website, social media. This is why social media is so important. Oftentimes on the first page of that Google, it's going to have a link to your Facebook page. So that's why you should have some stuff on your social media that is real estate related. We've created all of it for you. But also realtor.com. Realtor.com creates a profile for every single real estate agent. And most agents don't even realize that it was created for them. And it was created when you got your license. So if you haven't touched your realtor.com profile page, it is going to have old information on there, like the old place you work. So imagine that you're a customer who just got referred to you as a real estate agent, and they Google your name and they see like there's no bio on anything, like you have no bio. That realtor.com has a company that you worked for 3 years ago, but your Facebook says this company that you work at today. That's why you got to clean all that stuff up. That has to be top 5 things you go execute on before the start of the year. Anyways, this bio generator, because one of the things we hear from agents, I don't have a bio because I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about myself. This just asks you some questions about you, and then it creates a nice bio. And then you cut and paste that into everything so that you have a nice bio about you. Again, that's for anybody. You don't have to be a LAER agent. And then these are all the sign-in locations for many of the tools that our agents use. So if you're trying to log into Boost by HomeSpotter, for example, that's where you're gonna get that. All right, so let's go back to the LAER agent services, see if there's anything else we need to look at. We looked at technology tools. Craig talked a little bit about sustainability. There's lots of tools under that button. Library is just kind of all the extra stuff that we don't really have a place for. So for example, at LAER, it's kind of like licensing documents and stuff. Sometimes you need a copy of like our E&O insurance or a license or a liability policy. So that's like all the stuff that we throw under that library. And for LAER agents, we have some systems in place for helping you get paid. Once you have a transaction and you're ready to get paid or you need checks for a closing, you're going to want to go through our LAER check request system. This just notifies our bookkeeping department that an agent is looking to receive checks for a transaction. It's all very automated program. One thing I do want to point out, just for LAER agents, it'll only take 20 seconds, is when collecting escrow checks, you can collect an actual check and deposit it, like mobile deposit it into our escrow account, for example, or have it sent to an office. But I love this escrow payment portal, Earnest. It's really convenient that, say you're a listing agent and a property's under agreement, you can just send this link to the this laerrealty.com/Ernest, send that link to the buyer agent and just say, hey, this way your client doesn't have to go wire money or drop off a check or mail a check. Go to laerrealty.com/Ernest. There is a small fee, but the fee is less than a wire fee. And have them just ACH transfer the money into our escrow account. So that's kind of a cool time savings little tidbit. Last two things just for our LAER agents. If you're a LAER agent, we have about 30 plus offices all throughout Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Florida as well. We are adding a lot of offices in several states. We're working on expanding into Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. When you're out working on a regular basis, we want you to be able to access any of the LAER offices. So let's just say it's a Saturday afternoon and you're meeting a customer. Let's just say you're a Massachusetts agent and you're going to Cape Cod to show real estate. You can go utilize any of our office locations. So you just pick which office you need to get into. You fill out a little form and the system will email you all the information for getting into that office location. Super easy to use. The email does have to match what our company has on file for you in order for the system to email you the information. There's also the LAER staff schedules. That's really cool, especially if you have a client like is going to be dropping off a check somewhere and you want to see if there's somebody in the office to collect it or whatever. You can see all of our staff schedules right here. And then if we go down a little further, basically just our internal brokerage blog. One other thing, just really quickly, if you are a LAER agent, is our LAER news. So once a month, we write an internal newsletter. We distribute these to all of the offices, but if you ever want to include something in our internal company newsletter, just go to laerrealty.com/news and fill out a little form. You have to scroll down a little bit and it'll ask you what kind of news do you want to report to our company. And that will make it over to our newsletter. But basically, this is a 4-page newsletter that goes out once a month. We print them and leave them at all the offices. They have the same format every single month, but a lot of it is letting you know what's happening within the company, not only personally with our agents, when they have new babies or marriages or there's a death in their family or accomplishments. We want you guys to all know what's happening in the lives of our people, but also there's really cool updates. Every month there's a sustainability section, a technology section. So all of our committees that meet once a month, that information ports over into this newsletter. So it's a really nice tool to see what's going on with the lives of the other agents at the brokerage. Okay, so that was everything on our LAER agent services dashboard. So we're only on page 7 of the LAER program guide. We're back to our booklet, the 40-page booklet of all the tools and resources available at LAER. We're right at the beginning. We only have just briefly brushed the surface of the tools. So we still have a lot to cover. Let's head on to the next section. Sergio, can you talk about our marketing stuff for a few minutes? See if, oh, there he is.
Yep, I'm here.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
We're gonna have Sergio just go through really quickly, update. This is for LAER agents. For every agent that's been on here, you get access to most of the materials that we talked about today. But for LAER agents, we're gonna just spend 3 minutes going through what you should be getting automatically as part of your membership in our brokerage each month. So with that, I'll have Sergio take over.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, so I'm just going to go over a couple of things, a couple of the programs here that we have at LAER. Stacey already touched on these. So we have our LAER marketing bundle. So as a LAER agent, as soon as your home goes live on the MLS, so as soon as you list on the MLS, our team gets to work. So we create a marketing bundle, which includes a brochure, just like this, as well as some social media pieces that follow the whole transaction of the home. So just sold, for sale, etc., open house. This is just a sample of them, but we actually include more of them. We also create them in Canva, so we share them with you, and you can go in and edit. If you have a price change, you can go into your Canva and then edit that, print out new brochures. It's very easy to use. One of the other things we also offer are 4-page brochures. So if you have a luxury property, you went out, you got nice pictures, nice drone photos and everything, you can request one of these. Now, we don't make this automatically for you because it doesn't make sense to make it for every property, but you can order this through LAER Agent Services and send us the original photos. It makes it easy for us to use those original photos because these are nice big brochures, so they do require high resolution images. So before I go into the weekly social media assistant, let me show you what the marketing bundle looks like. So again, when your home goes live on the MLS, you'll receive an email that looks just like this, your concierge marketing package, right? With 3 links, right? So the first one is, the first 2 are Canva templates. And then this last link is to download your bundle through Google Drive. So most of the time, you're just going to click on this. You're going to click on your listing sheet. You're able to print it out just from here. You can download this as a PDF or send it out to print at Staples. It's all really high resolution, really high quality. We try to make sure that the pictures that we choose make sense for the listing. And then we have our social media pieces as well. So these, again, follow the whole transaction. So new listing just sold, for sale, under agreements, etc. And if you do need to change part of it, you can go into the Canva template. So if you did have a price change, for example, so we can click on the social media one. Now, on the social media template here in Canva, and again, I just clicked on this and it opened right up. I'm already signed into Canva. So as long as you're signed into Canva, you can just click on this link. It will open up your design. Now, if you scroll down, we also include some pieces that we don't include in the folder just because we don't have the information yet. So we have this price change. Obviously, if there is a price change, we don't know. But I mean, we won't know ahead of time because you just listed your listing. But if there is one, you can come into this template, do a quick change here. This is a live listing, so I don't want to change anything. But you can make your price change. You can click on share, download, and then download a new version of your marketing piece. We also include things like back on market. We have an open house piece that also includes the date and time. So you can get these ready to post for the weekend. It's very easy. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to go into Canva, make the quick changes, click on download, and then post. You can also post directly from here. So one of the features of Canva is if you click on share, you can click on share on social media. So as long as you have one of your social media channels connected, for example, Facebook page, I don't have anything connected to this particular account, but if you follow the instructions, you can connect it to your Facebook page and then post just that image that you want. So obviously you want to share that specific page, and we've named these pages so they're easy to share. So for example, if you have an open house that's coming up, you can just click on that one. So unclick on everything first and then click on the open house, right? Click done, and then you can share that way. So you can share through social media on directly through Canva, or you can just download the image and then share afterward. You can send it to your phone as well. So that is the marketing bundle. You'll notice some other links down here. We have a link to order some FedEx 2-day delivery of your listing package. This includes printouts of your brochure on nice paper, nice 24-pound premium white paper, as well as some LAER brochures and some company folders. Now, this is if you can't really get to one of the offices, you can use, as a LAER agent, you can use any of our offices to print your brochures. But if you don't live near one, we can have them delivered to you. Just fill this form out. There is a cost to it, but you do get it in its 2-day delivery. And you can order directly from here. And then underneath, there is this link here for ordering that 4-page brochure that I showed you earlier. Just check off this 4-page brochure page. Give us as much info as you can, and then you can upload the original pictures. Now, you don't have to upload them if your photographer sent you a link that you can download directly. So if he did send you a link, you can put the link in this notes section, and then we can click on it and download it. So you don't have to download to your computer and then upload. But if he did just send you the file somewhere, you can upload it directly here. Now, we do require at least 16 photos for this 4-page brochure. It's just a large brochure. We want to make sure it's all filled out. So that is the marketing bundle. If you're a LAER agent and you feel you're not getting these, if you're not seeing these within 24 hours of your home going live on the MLS, let us know. Send us an email to happyagent@laerrealty.com. We'll make sure it gets out to you. Okay, and then the next thing I wanted to cover is the weekly social media assistant. Stacey already covered this. She went through it pretty thoroughly, but just a few things. I want to show you what it actually looks like when you get the email. Again, you get this every Monday morning via text or email, around 7 to 10 weekly social media posts. We include Canva templates and ready to post JPEGs as well as video, and of course the suggested captions and hashtags. So the email looks just like this. You'll receive an email every Monday morning where you can, well, it's the beginning of the month, so we include these Facebook covers that you can use. But we also include all of the images. When you use this email, it's very simple. You can just click on this download arrow to download your image. For the email itself, you do need to highlight and copy and paste, right? You can go to our LAER marketing website where it does have that copy button. But particularly for the email, you do need to copy and paste your caption. You don't have to keep the whole thing too. So if you want something that's a little more simple, you can just keep some of it. You don't have to use all of the hashtags. Again, you want to customize this to fit your local market, your local audience. Like Stacey mentioned, we have different formats. We have Facebook and Instagram stories as well. And then you also receive a text message. Hold on. Let me pull up the text message. And the text message, you are, as a LAER agent, you are opted in to the text message. You are able to opt out, if you don't want to get these. Let me minimize this. There we go. One second, let me pull this up. Okay. All right. Oh, that's why, because this is full screen. Okay, so let me go back here. Let me show you what the text message looks like. Hold on, it's not letting me unfull screen this, which is fine. Let me minimize everything. If you have any questions so far, let me know while I fix this part. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we have our text message. Looks just like this. Here we go. So it says your social media posts are ready for the week. Click on this link. It'll take you to our page, which looks just like this. It's going to look a little different on your phone, but you will see everything. We try to make it easy for you to just tap on this link here and download the image on your phone, as well as copying and pasting the images and accessing the Canva template. If you have Canva installed on your phone, you can actually do it all within your phone. You can edit the Canva template on your phone and then export on your phone and download directly to your phone so you can post on your Facebook app, your Instagram app. We try to make this very platform agnostic. So if you find that you have more of an audience on Instagram than you do on Facebook, or more on Facebook, you can use all of our images wherever you need. Canva also has features where you can resize some of these automatically. So if you find yourself that, some of these, you want these as a story, we do provide these in story format, but if we don't, you can click on the reformat thing and resize it. So you can do a magic switch. You can do like Instagram Reel, right? And that's going to resize it. It'll resize it automatically. You can make a new copy, and that's it. You can add this, you can change the video stuff, you can change any of the logos, and it's all accessible here. Feel free to also check out this LAER Marketing Center website. We try to update it as much as we can. We're also now including these social media masterclass. It's just a link to the training itself, but it's a really great training that Renee does every month. It's an hour long, and she changes it every time. And there's tons and tons to learn from this class. You can watch this live and ask questions to her if you go to our training channel. But definitely check out this replay. I was sitting in on it yesterday, listening to the class, and even I learned some new things. So definitely check this out, and that's it.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Sergio.
Yep.
All right, let's head back to our LAER program guide. That covers a big chunk of the first section of the book, which, as I mentioned, the LAER program and services guide is broken up into 4 sections. The first section of today's program and the first section of the book is all on marketing. And as I mentioned, we changed up our presentation and our booklet just recently based on what agents want the most. So that's why we put all the good stuff right at the very beginning, although we're not done. We have a lot of stuff we still need to share with you guys. Let me just reshare this. Okay, so we're back on the LAER program guide. You guys just got to see all the stuff that Sergio and his team do for all new listings, as well as the social media posts. The one last piece I just want to remind you guys is that if you're a LAER agent, we do 7 days of boosted social media on every new listing. So for 7 days, automatically, you don't have to do anything. The ad will just run. It's got your contact information, your name, all the leads on it go directly to you. You will get leads. So many of our agents do get leads, 10 to 20 leads per listing. However, they are cold leads. So we get calls all the time from agents saying, I got like 30 leads on this property and nobody's returning my emails or my calls. They are 100% cold leads. Stick them into your database, do set it and forget it marketing. Of course, try to follow up multiple times, but if they're not responding, that's what an internet lead is, but you'll definitely get leads. The other side of that is we have had agents close transactions because a lead came through the Boost by HomeSpotter system. Also, you can log into Boost by HomeSpotter. It does have some cool reports in there, which you can give to your seller. I want to remind you that under our marketing section, which we looked at earlier at LAERagentservices.com, we have a flyer that explains the Boost by HomeSpotter program so that you can include that in your listing presentations as well. One last piece to note is if you like getting all those leads, or maybe your customer, your seller is really impressed with all of the views and clicks you're getting on your listing, you can extend the advertisements. LAER's paying for 7 days. You can extend it, or you can do your own ads. Maybe you got an open house this weekend and you want to do some advertising for it. You, through that dashboard, can do that. Let's see. In a few minutes, we're going to have Len come on and do a couple of demos for you. For CMA programs, LAER has two that we promote the most. One is Cloud CMA. Some of you guys have access to a free version of Cloud CMA through your MLS. This is an enhanced version of it because our marketing team has gone in and added all kinds of additional pieces into the system, and we've created some branding so it does a really nice presentation. The other one we believe in is RPR. So RPR is free to all agents through your realtor membership. When agents don't like paying the $600 a year for being part of the Realtor Association, I feel like RPR is worth $600 a year all day long. It's a really cool pricing tool. Few other things. LAER does have a couple of cool magazines. These are just great for including in listing packages, etc. All right, let's move in. We only have a half an hour to cover the last 3 sections of our tools, training, technology. So we're going to spend a few minutes digging into technology. If you're a LAER agent, you get a bunch of technology complimentary. You get .loop. We have the upgraded version of .loop, the premier version. You get app files, showing time, Cloud CMA, Boost by HomeSpotter, and G Suite. All those are complimentary. One of the things agents always ask when they're shopping real estate brokerages is, are there any tech fees being part of the organization? And sometimes you see companies that have super high tech fees. We have an optional $39 per month tech fee. Totally optional. For agents that opt into the $39 a month product, they get 3 products for it. One is Isact, which is a CRM system. We love it because it's easy to use, and it's a set it and forget it marketing system. It will send a really nice newsletter to your clients once a month. The second part of that bundle is a Boston Logic website. And the third part of the bundle is Real Scout. Real Scout is a property search portal. So you get all 3 of those for $39 a month. And each of those, just for agents that are not LAER agents watching this today, you can go sign up for any of those on your own for $39 each. It's just a discount because we have a lot of agents that if you're a LAER agent, you do get all 3 of them for $39 a month. That being said, I think they're worth $39 each a month. So even if you have to pay full price for them, I think all 3 of them are phenomenal products. So before we talk about some of the cool things that these 3 products can do, first I want to rate them in order of importance for you while I pull up a quick presentation for you. The least important of the 3, so one part of the $39 a month tech bundle is Boston Logic. So if you go to LAERrealty.com, our website is a Boston Logic website. they have an agent version of that website. The agent version of the website, it's a beautiful website, and it's got maybe 20 different landing pages in it. You can customize it based on what your market area is. However, it's the least important of the three pieces. In my opinion, a real estate website for your business is kind of like a business card. You should have one. So if somebody asks for your business card, you should have one. You should have a website. So if somebody Googles your name, they will end up, one of the links that they will see is your website, and it should be really pretty, eye-catching. But other than that, you're probably not going to catch leads on that website. So I definitely don't spend a lot of time focusing on your website. It's the least important of the three products that you get. The second one that I would say, or I'd say, is the Eyes Act and Real Scout are equal in their importance to your business. Website is like, you got to have one and it should look nice, but not that important. Real Scout and Eyes Act, super important, really, really important. And I'm going to show you why. Let me just share my screen. Why you must have a really good set it and forget it marketing system / database, and a really good property search portal, which both of those are Eyes Act and Real Scout. This is why you need them. Is because while many of you think that the biggest competitor in our industry is the person who's selling real estate down the street from you, the person that you go up against for listing presentations, honestly, the number one competitor in our business is Zillow. Zillow is out trying to take business from millions of real estate agents on a daily basis and giving those leads to real estate agents who will pay heavily for those leads. So even if you're buying Zillow leads, which many agents do, all of us have to get better at talking about Zillow at our buyer presentations and our seller presentations. If we can articulate why the customer should stay off Zillow, we will all lose less customers to Zillow. So when talking with our buyers, we have to explain to them, here's all the reasons you should not go on Zillow. Number one, their search function is no good. So when you go to search on Zillow, it does not allow you to narrow the search, unlike all the other sites out there. They don't want you to be able to narrow your search. So maybe in New England, you only want Cape style houses. And you want like 2 bedrooms upstairs, Cape style, or a colonial style. You can't narrow that down. There's so little opportunities to narrow down a search. You can narrow it down by type of house, town, the price, the number of bedrooms, but beyond that, probably not. So search function is super limited. Number two, the listings are outdated. So we tell our buyers, do not go search for a home on Zillow because you're going to fall in love with something that is not available. So that's the second piece that our clients need to understand. Third, most customers who are on Zillow who then reach out to a real estate agent think that they're contacting the listing agent and that they're going to get some sort of benefit by working directly with the listing agent. In fact, we know that's not true. The agent that they're going to get is whichever agent in that marketplace is paying for Zillow leads. And let's talk about those agents. Are there great Zillow agents? Absolutely. There are many great agents that pay for Zillow. There's an equal number of really bad agents that are paying for Zillow leads. They're just not good agents. So there's no vetting process. The vetting process for a Zillow agent is whoever will pay the money. And then last, for sellers, the conversation has to be around the Zestimate. and that it's super inaccurate, and here's all the reasons why. So these are all the reasons why we have to have our own database, because if you think about it, what Zillow is a database. The only thing that Zillow does better than us is they constantly market to buyers and sellers. So we have to become really good at constantly marketing to buyers and sellers. And there's two ways that we can do that. One is through ISAC, the set it and forget it marketing program. ISAC is a super easy to use CRM. And the reason I love it is because it does not have a million bells and whistles. You put your people in there, and by people, I mean everybody you meet, every lead that comes through, your mother and your father, your next door neighbors, the person you sold a house to last week, all the people that just came through your open house. You have to be a database fanatic. That is what you have to be focused on. Get all these people into your email so that you can communicate with them all the time, because that's what Zillow does. The second part is Real Scout. Real Scout is a better type of Zillow. Why is it so better than Zillow? Well, number one, it allows the consumer to really tune in to what type of house they want. There's a million little ways that the person can narrow their search. For example, under Real Scout, the client can pick school areas they want to be in. I want to make sure my kid goes to the Blanchard school. So they can click that in Real Scout and say, I want the Blanchard school district. And that's all the leads that they're going to get. They're going to get listings that are within the Blanchard school district. That is not possible with Zillow. But really, the coolest thing about Real Scout is that if you keep people on your Real Scout platform, they're not going to get inundated with calls from real estate agents. Whereas if they stay searching on Zillow, they're going to get inundated by real estate agents calling from Zillow. Not only real estate agents, but mortgage people and other people, because Zillow is in the database business because they sell that information. So we have to get really good about talking about these things with our clients. So I want to invite Len Lockery, Director of Business Development from LAER Realty, on for a few minutes, because I want him to give you a really quick rundown on both Real Scout and our Cloud CMA, because we have an upgraded version of Cloud CMA, and show you some of the capabilities of those two tools. So we'll welcome Len.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. All right, I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to start with talking about Real Scout. So one of the cool things about Real Scout is it is a program where you can set your buyers up so that they get automatic emails when a property comes on the market or
Yeah, I muted you by accident. I was trying to mute me.
Oh, okay. All right. So so you can go in, you can set up searches for your buyers, but your buyers can also set up searches. But one of the really cool things about Real Scout is the emails that come out to your buyers. So I wanted to show you some of the emails and what they look like. So this is not your run-of-the-mill email from MLS saying, hey, here's a listing. Hey, here's a listing. Hey, they have a natural language that's added to the emails that go out. So this one says, hi, Len, take a look at this listing. 46 Virginia Ave is a Cape-style home that has off-street parking, hardwood floors, paved driveway, located on a level lot near a university and has a view of the park. But if you come back here and you look at this one here, this one says, hey, Len, here's a listing that meets your needs. 43 Kinsman. Features driveway parking, a full basement, walking trails, located on a corner lot near a university, has view of the park. So every email that goes out to your clients, it looks like you wrote the email to let them know that the property was on the market. So here's another one. Here's the listing you might like. Ranch style, has central air, tile floors, hardwood floors, has a view of the park, located near shopping. Apparently everything in Lowell has a view of the park. Anyway, so these are what the emails look like, and they're set so they capture people's they capture, so that the buyer is going to open the email and take a look, and it looks like you wrote the email for them themselves. And then once they get the email, they can click here, they can click anywhere, and it'll open up this detail. So right now, what we're looking at right here is the buyer's view, not your agent view, but the buyer's view right here. And so if they had gotten this email and they opened it up, they see 38 Florida Street, looks like a nice home. They can say, you know what, they can give you direct feedback, and they can say, you know what, I'm interested in this home. I would give this 4 stars. And then they can also send you a direct message, you know, and say like, you know, I want to see this one. They can even say, hey, I want to see it tomorrow. They send it, and immediately you get text that they reached out to you. So that's the big difference in Real Scout. It's really pretty cool. Now, one of the new features that Real Scout also has is people can, once you set up an account for somebody, and I always recommend that you create their first search for them, right? They can add their own home, put in their own information, and they can find out what their home is worth. So everything is right there inside the program. So I put my own home on on here, and it's telling me that Zillow thinks it's 592. This one thinks it's 527, and it's, you know, just an automatic pricing. That's, you know, you still need to be there to do a CMA for them to get the real pricing and everything. But it also has interesting graphs, and it says, you know what, if you price a home at 527, you'll get, you know, this many buyers. But if you price it over at 579, you're going to lose 8% of your buyers. You underprice it, you'll get even more. It's going to have a map, and it's going to have different comps that are available with it. So this is one of the new features with Real Scout. All of this is what the buyer sees, which makes it really, really great. So, all right, so I'm going to log out real quick, and I'm going to sign in as an agent. And so this is the dashboard you, the agent, would see, right? And so actually, the dashboard right away says that, hey, look, Len Lockery, he opened up this and he gave it a rating of 4 stars, right? He viewed this, and you can scroll down and you can see the actual activity of what your buyers are doing. Mostly it's just me on this one, but it looks like, you know, it shows what emails I opened, what properties I rated, what properties I viewed, and it goes down here. Yeah, it's just all me right now, but well, Jose looked at a house over on Salem Street. Beautiful. I'll pick up the phone, give him a call today. So all this information comes to you, so it's very interactive. Now, the really cool search function on this, though, is I'm going to click here and do a search real quick. And this is what Stacey was talking about, is that you can narrow the search down, and it's very accurate. I'm going to, let's see here, I'm going to switch to MLS PIN. And I'm going to just say I'm only looking at actives and maybe in contract. And then property types is residential. But here's the really cool search function. Now this has 2 search functions, right? Now you can do the traditional search, right, with the state, the county, and everything else, right? But down here, they also have the Pitney Bowes geographic boundaries, and that's really accurate. So like Stacey was saying, here you can search for the Blanchard School District. All you do is type in the name of the school, Blanchard, and it's going to give you different towns and everything. And you come down here, and here is Blanchard Middle School, Westford, Mass. You click on that, and over here on the map, it is showing you the blue ones are active and the orange ones are under agreement, and it has the outline of what the school district is. And Pitney Bowes geographic information, geographic boundaries is really, really accurate. So there's a lot of things that you can do with Real Scout. I love the program, and your buyers will love it too. So, all right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is Cloud CMA. All right, so if you have MLS PIN, Cape and Islands MLS, or Beaches MLS, you can directly access Cloud CMA through your MLS. If not, you can access it by signing into your LAER website and go in that way. So one of the cool things here, let me just get some stuff out of the way, go here, and if you were doing a CMA in any of those programs, any of those MLSs, you can go through and pick and choose which ones you want, right? And then you could click and say, I'm going to use these properties for my CMA. And it'll actually import those listings directly. So, but let's go into Cloud CMA and I'll show you a couple of quick things. I have several CMAs that are already done. So I'll just show you what they look like. They're beautiful pieces. It should load here soon. Launch. So one of the things to remember is when you first sign in the Toolkit CMA, this is something I have to do because I'm listed in 2 different MLSs. So almost every time I come in, I have to switch between MLSs. But up here is where your account settings page is. So you want to make sure that you have LAER Realty Partners in here. That keeps reverting, don't know why. I'm going to update that. And then MLS credentials. So right now it has me in New Hampshire. I can switch to MLS and to MLS PIN. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so now it's going to pull up everything that's in MLS PIN. So, but let me just take you back here to my front page, and we're going to take a quick look at one of the CMAs I did, and I'm going to show you there's 2 different ways for producing a CMA, 2 different outputs. Here we go. And so they have the traditional way, the view PDF, and there's the live view. So for the PDF, the traditional way is that you can download this, print this at any of our offices, or have the admin print it for you and bind it for you. Makes a really awesome presentation. So the pages that are included are, everything is going to be in the blue and gold LAER colors with the LAER logos. And everything that's included is it's going to have extra pages, extra branding pages, information for the seller, and you can rearrange these in any order that you want. And we're just going to scroll down here. As you can see, all blue and gold, and it looks good. And then here's the market analysis. And if you come down here, what you're going to see is everything here is going to be branded with you, your cell phone number, everything else, and with the LAER logo. And so this is the PDF, and there are a lot of extra pages you can pick and choose whether or not to put in or not. And so part of the CMA is going to be doing a map of the properties you chose for your comps, right? And I'll have a summary. Now on this particular one, I only have sold properties, but if I had actives and under agreements, you'd have more things and everything. And then for the actual presentation of the properties, you have different choices. I like it where it has the 2 first photos from MLS, then it's got all that information, it's got the remarks, and then after that, I add the next 12 photos that are listed with MLS. And I think that really makes a good presentation, and you're really able to explain a lot to the seller. So let me show you some of the end pages here. It's really nice graphs. Here we go. So I only use sold ones in this one. So, but lots of extra graphs here that you can walk through with the seller. Also is you can, in this case, this was, I think was for Chelmsford, and it's showing that you can decide whether to use this page or not, but this shows that Zillow is consistently like $49,000 off. So, but it's going to show you that, you know, average sales days, everything else. So lots of good detail, and you can pick and choose what pages you want to use. Now, the second thing I want to show you here is the live view. This is the second output that you can have for your CMAs. And this is great because you can load this up onto your tablet. You can meet with the seller and you just kind of like scroll through and explain everything to them. And so, and again, here are the pages that are included. Everything is in excellent colors and everything else. And down here is the navigation. And as you're talking with the seller, you can just click through and go through the different things and everything else with them. And then if there's something that you want to highlight while you're doing the presentation, this pen right here is a highlighter. As soon as this page loads, no, it's not loading. Oh, this happens when I do a Zoom and my computer slows down. There it is. All right, cool. So you can, take the highlighter and you can like highlight different stuff and everything. And as you keep going, and let's go back to the front page, and I want to show you what the comps look like. This is really neat. So here are all the comps that I chose, right? And it shows, and you can go through them just like this, right? And as you're talking about the properties, but you can also click on the properties and get more information and go into detail with the seller. So that's another great thing about this. So Toolkit CMA is free for most agents. Your MLSs do provide for it, and so you do have easy access to it. And Sergio in the marketing department did all the extra pages, and they really look great. So this is so much better than so many other programs. So I hope that covers everything.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Len.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get back to our LAER program and services guide. Again, you guys can download this if you haven't already at laerrealty.com/success tools. And as a reminder, as you go through this booklet, anything that is underlined is a link to more information. So there's little tutorials on how to use the program. So for example, if you're on the Real Scout page and you want to learn more about how to use that Real Scout, you can just click on these little short tutorials that'll teach you how best to utilize that. By the way, if you're a LAER agent, we have not updated the book yet, but we also have for LAER agencies cool little briefing sessions where if you need one-on-one support with any of our tools, or you need one-on-one support like for your social media or anything like that, you can go to laerrealty.com/briefings, BRIEFINGS, laerrealty.com/briefings. And these are your opportunity to sign up for 30-minute one-on-one training sessions with our staff so that they can help you get your database up and running or get your clients using Real Scout. Okay, we have 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes. Next section of the book is career development. I don't have to spend a lot of time here because we already talked about career development, because most of these links are going to take you back to the LAER Agent Services portal. But this is just a nice reminder. If you want to download our growth system, you can go to this link, laerrealty.com/algorithm. This is our algorithm for success to get you to your first 30 transactions per year. Tons of training available. You can go, one of the things you should all do is the top 5 things you should go execute on is subscribe to our training station at youtube.com/LAER training. Go subscribe to that. That way you just get a little update on your phone every time we add a new class, so you never miss anything. But also don't forget to go look at our upcoming training at this link, laerrealty.com/training. And don't forget that we have hundreds and hundreds of other classes at LAER, LAER, university.com. Let's see, if you're an agent, we've been building out these little tutorials on real estate forms. So if you're a newer agent, we still have some states we have to add, but we've been building out these little tutorials. So like if you're an agent in, say, New Hampshire, and you're working on a buy-side transaction and you haven't done one in a while, it'll take you through a little tutorial on each of the forms that you need. That's at laerrealty.com/transaction blueprint. In addition to all the training that we do in-house, we also bring in our favorite speakers and trainers each year. As many of you know, both in our Florida market and our New England market, we did have Tom Ferry out in the last 12 months. We brought him to Beverly, Massachusetts for a fantastic event we did in April. As well, through our partnership with New World Title, we had him out in our Southern Florida offices last year as well. Lots of exciting things coming up at LAER with our awards programs. Always we have a great time. It's a fun time to be a real estate agent. One of the things I like to just remind agents, like, get out and participate with your fellow agents, because I think it lifts your energy, so that be around other people who are doing business and staying in a positive place. If you're an agent doing less than $5 million a year and you feel like you could use some coaching and accountability, don't forget to check out laerrealty.com/LAER coaching for our coaching program. Okay, we only have a few more minutes. Agent support services. I said at the beginning of the program today that we believe the agent is the brand, the brokerage is just the support network. Our job is to make life easy for the agents who are the brand in real estate. If you're a LAER agent, this is really important. So we have about 50 staff members that are available to help you, and they're all trained in very different pieces of the business. We have our marketing department, our bookkeeping department, our transaction department. So what we tell you is anytime you need anything for your business, it's important to us that you get the support you need. And so we built this really cool back-end system. We call it the Happy Agent system. So if you're a LAER agent, if you ever need anything, our support team is available 7 days a week. Just email happyagent@laerrealty.com. Even if you don't know who could help you in the company, just email Happy Agent and say, this is what I need help with, or this is who I have a question for. Because through our system, we then assign it to the appropriate staff member. This allows us to track the trajectory of the request that comes through, so that an agent can never get lost. It is not possible that you have a question and can't get the help when you need it. We make sure it gets assigned to whichever staff member is best suited to answer your questions quickly and knowledgeably. I'm going to skip through some of the technology stuff. Oh, this one's really important for every single agent that's watching today, LAER agent or non-LAER agent. If you need leads for your business, there's two types of lead programs out there. One is subscription-based lead platforms. These are companies you write a check to monthly and they give you leads. Not a huge fan of those. I am a fan of these other ones. Subscription-based lead platforms. I'm not a fan that they're so expensive, because they typically take 35 to 40% of the transaction. However, if you're newer or you're trying to build your business, they're an effective way to build your business, because if you go through our algorithm class, we're going to show you how to turn each lead you get into a referral source. So if you need leads, all of the ones on the left-hand side here, you could sign up as a referral agent for all these different companies. Some of them you'll never get leads from, some of them you'll get a lot of leads from, and you owe a referral fee if you end up closing a transaction with them. But more importantly, you're going to collect lots of leads, and you're going to be marketing to those people and holding client appreciation events, so that you can turn those leads into referral sources for business that you don't have to pay referral fees on. Each of these links on this page takes you to the live sign up page. So you can just directly head over and sign up to be a referral agent for these companies. We do have a phenomenal transaction coordinating team for those who like it, if you're a LAER agent. And if you're a LAER agent, I highly recommend you join one of our committees. So we covered a lot of information today. Everything great at our company is a byproduct of our agents. The agents that give us support and feedback as to the tools, training, technology available at LAER. So if you like having a voice in a company that you're working at, then please, by all means, sign up for one of our committees, because all of that information comes to our LAER Leadership Council. And that's how we decide like what products to invest in based on what you guys are telling us. One little piece I want to just give a plug to the Realtor organization, because they've come under all kinds of scrutiny and all kinds of stuff lately. So, and as a brokerage, we are a realtor organization, proudly. We are proudly realtors. And one of the things I say to real estate agents when they say, do I have to pay for realtor membership? I say, it is a gift that we pay for the realtor membership. The reason for this is because the National Association of Realtors is one of the biggest lobbying arms. And in my opinion, as a realtor for now more than 20 years, I believe one of the only reasons our industry is still here, think about the yellow taxi cabs, think about the travel agencies. So taxis, yellow taxis were replaced by Uber. The travel agency business, it's not gone, but there's not a lot of travel agents out there. Now we're seeing it with hotels being replaced by Airbnb. We haven't seen that as much in the real estate industry because we have one of the biggest lobbying arms working for us. So every time I write that check for $600 a year, I realize that that's my insurance, that I'm going to have a job in 10 years and 20 years. So in addition to that, the realtor associations do provide value as well. So the $600, what you're paying for is insurance of your future career, but you also want to capitalize on the $600 spent. And the best way to do that is to engage, to go out and take your CE classes for free at your board of realtors, to use the free RPR, to engage in some of the cool stuff that they have available for you. And that takes us to the end of the program. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody. We had many people that just stayed on to a 3-hour program. So that's like really difficult to do in a Zoom class, really difficult. So thank you for being engaged in your business for the past 3 hours. Now, don't waste it. Take your 5 things that you're going to go execute on. So as soon as you get off today's program, make sure you have those 5 things written down, the things that you're going to go work on in your business, because today's the day that the trajectory of your business can change forever. But that's only if you go and execute. Now, my one last plug, and I'm going to keep it under 1 minute. If you're an agent that is not a LAER agent, as I said, you're welcome to use all the tools, the training, and the technology. That being said, we're always looking for great real estate agents. So if you're interested in ever learning more about how LAER could benefit your business, please send an email to happyagent@laerrealty.com. That will get directed to me and I'll reach out to you. We can just have a confidential conversation about your business. That goes for real estate agents and broker owners. Many of the offices that you see on this list were one-time independent real estate brokerages that partnered with LAER. So, for example, our Fairhaven, Massachusetts office is run by Phil and Deb Rose. They used to own Rose Homes with 4 agents in Acushnet, Massachusetts. They now have a very successful, thriving real estate practice with more than 40 agents based in Fairhaven, Massachusetts. That was as a result of partnering with LAER. They still run their own brokerage, but all of their agents get all the additional tools, training, and technology. Not only that, we handle the bookkeeping, the E&O insurance. So we give structure to great broker owners so that they can go out and continue to grow their business. And what's even better is it is not a franchise. It is a true partnership. Trust me, I was in a franchise for 10 years before starting LAER, and it was ugly. When I tried to get out, they make it very difficult. The contracts handcuff you to the franchise, which is why I don't love franchise contracts in general. But we do have a really cool partnership model for brokerages that are looking to partner. And We also have an acquisition program for brokerages that are considering, maybe you're a broker owner that eventually wants to sell your business, or maybe you just want to go sell real estate. Maybe not having the stress of running a real estate business is sounds like something interesting to you. We're also interested in exploring merger and acquisition opportunities as well. And with that, last but not least, I want to say thank you to all of our LAER agents who participated today. I see we have lots of new faces from the last 30 days, as well as some of our seasoned agents who come back time and time again to really engage in the resources available at LAER. Thank you to everybody. I want to wish you a wonderful holiday season, and I look forward to seeing you on some great classes in the new year. Thanks, everyone.